Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone live on this Wednesday evening. Hope to find you all well. So, as we spoke about last night, tonight's topic of conversation is obviously going to be when we take the phone ins, is people to ring me in about use our favorite episodes, either classic era or new era, and also keep it balanced. Also, episodes that you didn't really like, up to you ourselves. Um, that's the way it is in this fandom. Different opinions. You know. Um, I see there's already a few people in the chat, and the live chat has gone on my screen here, so I have to use uh, the usual side chat. So, I'll just give the usual shout out. So we have Daniel, Peter, Yvette is here, Renee, um, Steph is here as well, Yvette is here, Bad Wolf 66, Thomas is here as well. Welcome, Thomas. Peter Davison is here, Gary is here, Aled Jones is here. You can check out Messenger now. I don't know what the issue was, but everything seems to be okay my end. The Dr. AC, Keen is here as well. Stephen Cassidy and Jack also. Welcome all aboard. Tardis is here as well. Ian, Time Lord, is here as well. Good evening. Just before we actually start on the main topic, you could probably tell by me tone that I'm not best pleased right now. How do I put this? There seems to be something really wrong with this fandom right now at the moment. I seem to be a target right now. Now, listen, yous all know me. I don't really give a crap if they come after me. But I have a YouTuber out there, and I wasn't going to bring this up, and I was going to leave it, but I'm not going to mention the YouTuber's name. It's as simple as this, right? I don't want to be fighting with anybody in this fandom. It's not what I'm about. It's never what I've been about. Now, you mightn't agree with anything I say, and that is your right as a fellow YouTuber. But to basically dismiss everything that I do is what you're actually doing, and to twist it around that it's me and that somehow I'm driving hate in this fandom is actually wrong. Now, again, I did a video last night, which most of you have probably seen, on, let's just say, a group of ladies out there that have been asking for money. Now, apparently, I hate women because I've asked questions, right? And one of the questions I asked was this: that if they're getting donations, as they call it, and fair enough, they're giving some to charity, which I actually did say in the video, but apparently everybody is overlooking that part, right? Now, the thing about it is, they run channels like the way I do, me Facebook groups and all that, right? Now they're fans like us, and they're in a very privileged position. And what I mean by privileged is they get to do what we'll probably never get to do in this fandom, which is work close towards Doctor Who, right? They've got a privileged position. They get to go to conventions, they get free merchandise and all this. Now, apparently, this is slander, what I'm saying. It's not slander, it's the truth. Now, they've had a couple of defenders all over Twitter, um, mostly men for some weird reason, all right? But it is mostly men, right? Now, the reaction I've seen is actually one of how dare they? This is kind of cheeky, right? But you've got these like men who just they think they're whites in shining armor the way they're going on, All right. At the end of the day, right, I'm a fan, right? So if I was to go to all you guys, right, and say, listen, I want to go to New York Comic Con, and it is something that that I want to do eventually, right? But if I turned around and said to you guys, listen, I want you to help with donations to help me get to New York Comic Con, to get to conventions, you would probably say, what a right cheeky fucker to be asking the fans for money, right? And this is the point I'm trying to make. So if they are getting fans off money, then they are, and donations, whatever which way you wanna call it, right? Donations, whatever, some goes to charity. I don't care, right? Here's the thing, right? If they're gonna be getting donations off fans, right? And whatever fan wants to donate, fair enough, right? If fans don't want to donate, fair enough. But for those fans that do donate, I honestly do believe that they should actually set out some sort of information that actually shows where this money that they're receiving off fans is being spent. Now, I don't think that's unreasonable, but apparently I'm going to get into a lot of trouble. I better lawyer up, apparently, because I've said this. Now, I'm not going to say that they're doing anything wrong because I don't know, right? And I'm not saying they are, and they're probably not. But the thing is the cheeky thing for asking fans for donations, right? And I know some of it goes to charity, and that's probably softened the blow a little bit, right? But to me, it's damn right cheeky to be asking fans for money. If fans want to donate, fine, but you don't ask. Do you know what I mean? You don't ask your fans for money. If fans are willing to give money, they'll give it to you anyway. But you do not ask for money, right? And if you do get that money, I'm told to mind my own business. Well, if you don't want to donate, mind your own business. No, because there's fellow Hoovians out there that are giving money, giving donations, right? So I think it's only right and proper that these ladies actually provide information that actually shows where this money is being spent, because apparently they're saying they have full-time jobs and it comes out of their own pocket, which is fine, fair enough, right? But they say that there's extra costs and stuff like that, and that's why they need help. And that's fine, fair enough. But I think they should provide an account of where this money is going, because it's fans' hard-earned cash. And I actually find it quite cheeky, to be quite honest with you, because that'd be like me actually saying to all yous, like, I want to go to New York Comic Con, please help me out. I'd rather get there by me own, but if it takes a couple of years to save up, I'd rather do that. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's got downright cheeky of them. And then they have their defenders, and then apparently I'm driving this hate towards them. I'm not driving hate towards them. I've actually asked decent questions here. If they're going to be getting money off fans, I think they should provide information. And I don't think there's anything unreasonable about that whatsoever. And as a fellow Hoovian, I think it is right to be asking these questions. Um, and I'm sorry if people think that's hate, it's not. But getting back to the video that was made about me today, and they can deny that the video was made about me, it was made about me. Look, as I said, I don't want to be fighting with you, right? Obviously, something has happened somewhere along the way where lines have been crossed. But the things that you said about me in the video, and the fact that you're saying I'm driving this hate, I'm not driving any sort of hate whatsoever. And you said I hate Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall. You're actually wrong. I don't hate them. I despise them. All right. I don't think Jodie Whittaker is a good actress. And anybody that knows me on this channel knows if people go too far with their criticism of Jodie Whittaker, I'm the first one to defend her. Right? I dislike Chris Chibnall. Right? I don't hate. Hate is a strong word. I don't hate them. I hate the way. I'll tell you what I do hate. I hate the way they have divided the fandom. Right? Okay. So you're saying it's individual YouTubers that are doing this. No, it's not. There's a lot of anger out there, whether you believe it or not, from fans that don't like this era. And I seem to be getting a lot of stick lately because I'm having those opinions and because I'm letting you guys talk. All of a sudden now, it's like it's more focused attention on me now, and everybody just keeps having a pop left, right, and centre. There's not one day that goes by. And then he tried to say I'm playing the victim. I'm not playing the victim. I've actually proven that I'm getting abuse in the fandom, right? So it's not playing the victim. And you even said yourself that you were getting abuse. So you spoke about the abuse you were getting. So you playing the victim because you did a video about you being abused by the fans, right? So I do a video, but I'm playing the victim. That's not how it works, mate. Look, I don't want to be fighting with you, right? You said you're a long time in this fandom. Fair enough. You're a long time online. Fair enough. I've been a long time in this fandom too. And I've been on Facebook a long, long time. Okay, I might be relatively new to Twitter, right? But I've been around. All right. Now, I have decided on this channel that I'm going to give fans a chance to have their say, right? And yes, we have focused mostly on Series 11 on this channel because right now that is the hot topic in the fandom, right? So you want me to ignore topics in the fandom. And then you talk about information, then you talk about my source. Right now, I've said this to you before. Keep my source out, you keep your source out. You do your videos and I'll do my videos. But the accusations, or not the accusations, but the things that you have claimed in the video about me, you do not know me. You don't know me, right? So don't be making hasty judgments. And then you're saying that I'm making videos. I only make videos in response to the ones that you've been doing. If you hadn't been doing the videos in the first place, I wouldn't be replying back. And I actually think it is damn right cheeky of you to turn around and say I'm driving hate in this fandom because I'm not. Do you know what I mean? And look, as I said, I don't want to be fighting with you. You know, when I first got talking to you, I actually have an awful lot of respect for you, but for some weird reason, you know, and then you made the claim that I'm lying to all me subscribers and that I've told them that it's 100% true that Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall is gone. I have said, right, and everybody that's in this uh live chat and everybody that follows me will tell you, I have said, take the information how they like it. I believe me source myself because they've been spot on, right? If other people that are subscribed to me want to believe what I believe, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine. And you want to be cautious and wait, that is fine. But to actually come out and say that I'm lying to me subscribers, I have never lied to any of my subscribers, right? I just don't know where this is coming from. Um, and I mean, you keep saying, well, whether he does or doesn't have a source. How many times do I have to tell you, right? I have a source, right? Whether you like to believe it or not, right? Because I think your way of thinking is, oh, I'm pretty new in the fandom. That's the way you're kind of looking at it. And I've been around for a long time on Facebook, a long time. I'm new to Twitter, but I'm on Facebook a long time. So don't be making these claims because you don't know me. Again, you don't know me, right? So please stop attacking me. Please stop attacking me channel, right? If you stop doing videos about me, I will stop talking about you. It's as simple as that. And I've told you, I don't want to be falling with anybody in this fandom, but there just seems to be a lot of people right now very angry with me. And it's actually quite annoying because I'm not a horrible guy, right? I decided to do this because I felt so strongly about this area and it feels like I'm being punished by other YouTubers out there that think that they have more of a claim to talk about news in Doctor Who. I don't care if you've been doing the news for 8 years. I really don't. And fair enough, that's the thing that you've been doing, and I'm new on the scene or whatever. And I've probably upset the apple cart a little bit, right? But that doesn't mean you have to take snipes at me, right? Because you started this, not me, not me. And if you go back right back and you talk about messages that I sent you, I could show everybody the messages you sent me, but you know what? That's petty. That's petty. I could, right? You come across as someone that you come across as a bragger. You come across as someone that thinks that your information is the only information that's right. And these are all the things that you've accused me of in your video. I just find it quite strange. I don't even want to be fighting with you, mate. Do you know what I mean? You're respected in the fandom. I don't personally know you myself, but apparently you're respected in the fandom. Do you know what I mean? But you don't have to brag about how many books you wrote and how many videos you've done, because it makes you look like a bit of a dickhead. And that's the only problem I have with you. You're bragging all the time, and then you try to give me advice when it wasn't needed. I get advice off other YouTubers when I ask them for it. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if I came to you and I said, I'd advise you not to be saying those things that you're saying about Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall. You'd tell me to go and F myself or something. Well, you probably wouldn't put it that way, but you'd probably tell me to mind my own business. So why is it okay for you to come on then and send me messages and tell me this is how I should run my channel? Right, well, that's done. I've said what I've had to say. I hope well, obviously you are watching me live streams, but I hope we can draw a line under this, because all I'm just going to say is enough is enough. Do you know what I mean? So please just leave it be now. You just do your thing, let me do my thing. Yeah. And by the way, when I said that one of us is right, you're right. I did say that. One of us will be right though. Because you claim that they're staying and I'm claiming that they're gone. Right? So one of us will be right. So I don't know why you're kind of getting upset over that, because that is a true fact. One of us will be right. So I don't know. Again, you know, you kind of twisted things, and I didn't like that. And you know, I actually do respect you, mate. I actually do respect you. Do you know what I mean? It's someone that has the most YouTube videos on Doctor Who that deserves some respect, and it doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of anybody else. That is a huge achievement, and congratulations. Do you know what I mean? But I just don't like braggers, right? And there was a few videos where I thought you were taking a pop at me, by the way. And this is what started all this, right? Because like you talked about sources and people saying that they're lying, right? And I had approached you first, if you actually remember. All right, because you even said in your video that I spoke to you in I commented on a few of your videos, which I did. But look, it's okay anyway. I don't want to be fighting, but if I have to defend myself, I will. I'm not going to have anybody saying that I'm playing, because I'm not playing the victim here, right? I have genuinely been getting abused just like you, but you put a video out to complain about getting abuse, and it's okay. I put out a video and I'm playing the victim. See how this is working here? Do you know what I mean? I see Dane is here as well. RG Ross is here, and Stephen Cassidy. Right, the phone lines will be open in 10 minutes time. So I have a list there, I think, somewhere. So I'll get the list up now in a minute. But I'd just like to welcome you all, and I'm sorry for bringing all this up, but it's just been bugging me. And you know, I just can't believe people are thinking that I'm actually driving all this hate in the fandom all of a sudden. Like, nah, they have been watching me streams because they've been doing videos in response to my streams. I'm just hoping that this time that I've tried to be. I say olive branch is a bit of a strong word, but I just want this to end. I don't want to be fighting with someone that is respected in the fandom, which he clearly is, because he has his podcasts and everything, and he gets loads of people on, and you know, I've seen a lot of his videos, so you know what I mean. I don't want to be fighting. I'm already, look, it's bad enough getting it off all this other lot, right? And I don't need another a fellow YouTuber having a go at me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like everybody else. I'm trying to find my own little part in it. There's room for everybody. You don't have to agree with anything I say, right? But don't be accusing me of hating, because I don't hate, right? There's a difference. There's a difference. I just don't like this era. I don't like Jodie Whittaker as an actress, and I don't like Chris Chibnall as a showrunner. But you're saying it's bordering on hate. It's not. It's not. I've never hated them. I despise the two of them, but I don't hate them. Do you know what I mean? Even if I met Jodie Whittaker in the street, I'd have nothing to say to her. Do you know what I mean? It's not her. It's not all her fault. It's not all her fault. I've said this on this channel. I've actually even defended her. So I just don't know where it's coming from. Um, but look, I just want to draw a line under it now, and hopefully we can. And I see Blue Bonnet Hoovian has turned up tonight as well. How are you? Cheryl is not actually here tonight, folks. Ted is beside me, but he's asleep. Everybody's just a bit tired, you know. She might pop out later, hopefully. So, yeah, so I'll read out some of your comments before taking calls, because obviously when I take into calls, it kind of takes up all the time. I will start. Eno Time Lord says, I think Whittaker is good at serious adult drama like Trust Me, Black Mirror, as Doctor Who, no good. I agree with you. I think she's all right in her little niche. But once you put someone out of their comfort zone, which she clearly is out of her comfort zone, and so is Chris Chibnall, then you get the serious that you get. And I do know that people out there do like it, right? And they keep saying, well, why don't you let us all enjoy it, right? But that's all well and good, right? But then when we put up a comment about how we dislike the series, then we get attacked. So, as I said before, you know, you can go and enjoy it. Let us have our comments. You don't have to necessarily agree what we say, but if you come after us, like, what do you expect? Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's Ian in the comments there. We were speaking earlier. He's been having the same problem with the person that's been slandering me. And Ian is one of the nicest fellas that I've actually spoke to on Twitter. He, I mean, you even look at these tweets. There's not a one bad tweet from the man. Do you know what I mean? And even he's being the target. You know, it's actually ridiculous. Gary says anyone who could treat those who disagree with them with respect and decency isn't worth a second thought. Hate and resentment is their oxygen. They can't survive without it. That's from Gary. I agree. Arduous says Whittaker can't act at all in anything. Playing historical northern woman in everything. She is not acting. She's not an actress. Dane says, at what I was trying to be fans yesterday, is it? They are gone. Have I missed something there? There must have been comments deleted or something. I see Chuckzilla is here as well. How are you, Chuckzilla? Michael Richardson says, I'll be back after the Nintendo Direct. I hate this era too. It's bringing out the worst in people. It is. It actually is. Do you know, I'm actually tired of it all. People think that do you know what? Look, I actually hate being so negative about a show that I love so much. But this era gives me nothing to be positive about. And there's nothing positive I can say. So, I mean, I just want this nightmare to end. Not my Doctor Who. They're just jealous now, and they know it gets to you, so don't let them, mate. I know. I am strong, don't get me wrong, but these last couple of weeks, as I've said to you, I'm not afraid to say it, and they'll probably be enjoying this right now, but I don't care because I'll come back stronger. These last few weeks have really, really got to me. Dane says if Jodie and Chris confirmed to season 13, they would have said. I agree with you. I agree that. Hey Noel, hey everybody. And no one's stopping them from enjoying it. Why do they need our approval? Exactly, but not only that, right? See, here's the problem. I don't mind if they go and enjoy it. I do know that this show does have a bit of a following. The problem is when we put up a comment, right, or even on our own Twitter feed, or BBC put up a post about Doctor Who, and we go in and comment, then they all gang up. right? So how come they're allowed to have their positive comment and we're not allowed to have a comment if we don't like the era? Now, people might perceive that as negative, but if we truly don't like something, why aren't we allowed to have that opinion? See, this is what's gone wrong in this fandom. There's only a certain minority that can be right, and the rest are wrong. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. And as I put up on Twitter, I've said it, right? This channel is here for yous, right? It's for fans that feel they've been left out. It's for fans that feel they haven't had a voice in 2.5 years, right? It's for fans that have felt neglected by the show, right? That have been just shunned by this regime, right? And all the other little parasites that have infiltrated everywhere. It's getting ridiculous and it needs to stop because people are allowed not like something. When did this all happen? When we live in a world where people are not allowed like something. And if you do not like it, well then basically you hate you're this, that and the other. I'm sick of the labels, sick of the names, sick of the fact that you won't accept that other people don't like this area. You need to all grow up, seriously. Stephen Cassidy says, I watched the Horns of Neiman and Tom does a good, slightly bonkers performance, but it's just perfect. Can you imagine Jodie Whittaker in it? And Dane says, I love Jodie. I know you do. And it's okay. And you do be here and you do be respectful. So, like, see, people say that I don't allow pro Jodie fans in here. If they're respectful, they're more than welcome in here. But you know what happens most of the time. So, Dane, you are okay. So don't be worrying about it. Bless you and all. Yes, that person had a go at me for just voicing my opinion. I know it's ridiculous, Ian. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, you see it every day on Twitter anyway. It's like a cesspool. It's it's not a nice environment, and you know, you really do have to be mentally strong to be on Twitter. I think because people just get triggered by the least little thing. Seriously. Do you, oh, by the way, do you remember that 18-second video that I put up of Jodie Whittaker falling out of the Tardis and I put my own little narration onto it, like I put words onto it. Well, I couldn't believe it, right? This video has over 1,300 views on bleeding Twitter, right? I, I'm actually gobsmacked. Right, hold on. I'll tell you now. As of now, it has 1,451. It was on 1,300 and something earlier on, so it's still going. And they say people love this era. Mm. But again, that little post triggered some people. Just people get triggered too much, and it's sad, really. Because I remember a lot of us would remember growing up. Like everybody had different opinions. Yeah, you might have had heated arguments and blah blah blah, but it's all made up. Now you can't not none of that happens anymore. None of that happens anymore. The fandom has changed, whether people like it or not. And even if you've been a long term fan in the fandom, you could see it. It's changed. And it hasn't changed for the good. And if some of these YouTube channels have become more militant, it's because the other side have made them that way. So maybe instead of just having a go at this side, why not have a go at the other side that are just as bad? Again, balance is everything. Inclusion means all fans, all fans. When you do a show and you have a long-term fan base, and then you bring in someone then that decides that they're going to change everything, right? When you do something like that, you've got to keep in mind that a lot of the long-term fans are going to be, let me say, what would be the right word? it would be, there'll be a bit of anxiety there because they don't know how it's going to go. It's a long term show. They've put a lot of time into it. It's been part of their lives. And this is why I'll never get modern fandom because they're so fickle. They jump from fandom to fandom. And, there's fans that are there and will be there until the day they die. I just find the whole thing disheartening now, to be quite honest with you. Um, quickly, I was targeted by the Time ladies and their fans. It's ridiculous. No one can have opinions these days. See you later. See you later, Michael. Enjoy the Nintendo thing. We'll talk to you when you on Nintendo Direct. We'll talk to you when you come back. I like your channel because there is no can't say this or that. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Weakling scum. That co-pilots is hilarious, says Stephen Cassidy. Blue Bonnet Hoovian says, none of us want to hate the show or or negative about it. I think if they would have let us have our say in the first place and have not bashed us, the fandom may have been left intact. Exactly, you just can't. Yeah, as I said, there's only one opinion allowed. Right. And it's actually funny because this brings me on to another good point. So Dave Chappelle Sticks and Stones on Netflix, right? All the woke journalists have lost their shit over it, right? And the Rotten Tomatoes audience score came out, and it's a whopping 90. So 90, what was it? 90. Hold on, I'll get it up now. I think I screenshot it. Do you know what? I love the public because the public are basically telling these people that all this crap has to stop, right? And you know what? Dave Chappelle, he's getting some stick, he is, but the reason why he's getting some stick because he poked fun at everything, right? He had a go at them all and makes you think in his comedy. People have said he's lost touch. Right. So the critics consensus, it says no consensus yet, but the tomato meter is 29%, right? And the audience score is 99%. Rotten Tomatoes has become irrelevant. Irrelevant. See, this is what I have a problem with the critics, right? They won't tell the truth, right? They won't tell the truth that that guy is funny, right? They won't tell the truth that they actually really secretly laughed their asses off, right? Yeah, 99%, Gary. 99% audience score. And the user rating, just in case anybody has says that and that's woke. The user rating is 3,753. So 3,753 people have already went in and rated it, and it's got a 99% audience score. Meanwhile, the tomato meter has a total count of 7, has a 29%. 29%. So the public again have spoken, right? They're not buying into all this woke bullshit, right? And Dave Chappelle, and you know what? I've said it to everybody. Go and watch Sticks and Stones and support it. Do you know what I mean? Then go on to Rotten Tomatoes and give your vote. But show these numbskulls. See, this is why I don't like critics anymore. They're not honest. They won't actually come out and tell us that the TV that we actually have right now is shit. They won't. Because here's the thing, right? A lot of these people think that, the way their logic, the way that they think is they want to be on the right side of history. The right side of what, yous clowns? Do you know? Yous are critics, right? Yous are supposed to go and be objective, right? Yous aren't supposed to look through it with a narrow mind, which is an ideology, right? You have to look at it as a whole, but you don't. Unknown 289 is here as well, and Bull is here. Welcome along, and Daniel is. Oh, I think I mentioned Daniel earlier, but right, we're 5 minutes late, so where's my list? Um, Damn, where did I put my list? Sorry, guys. Just give us a second and I'll find my list. I wonder where I put the list, Teddy. Alright. We got the list. Well, I'll just see how many people's actually watching at the moment. Oh, we got 32 people watching. If you like what I've said so far, please give the video a like. If you haven't subscribed, obviously please do and support the channel. It'll mean a lot to me, to be quite honest with you. And right now I need all the support that I can get, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. Okay. Who have we got first? Right, according to this, Gary is first on my list. So I'll just check the pop-out chat there, see if Gary is in. Now remember, the topic of conversation tonight is obviously your favourite episodes from the New Who era, and we're not going to discuss Jodie Whittaker's era at all, okay? So New Who up until Peter Capaldi, and then obviously Classic Who. So if you have any favourite stories, you want to just come on, have a chin wagon, tell a story even, then you're more than welcome to do so. Do you want to say hello, Teddy? Mum, come here. Mum and say hello. Everybody cheers up. They see you. Come here. Come on. Oh, good little buddy. There he is. Oh, hold on, buddy. Here. Now. Now. Say hello to everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name's Teddy. Oh, by the way, thank you to Kerry for the great little video. If you could, I seen it on one of the Doctor Who sites. If you could do us a favor, if you could actually send that video to me on Messenger, I'd really appreciate it, so we can actually put it up on Teddy's YouTube channel. Oh, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know, Teddy actually has his own YouTube channel, don't you, buddy? Don't you? Yeah. Don't you have your own little... Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. Mwah. So, come on up on chair, buddy. So, yeah, so, Teddy... Right, I'm going to get the first call on, which is Gary. Right, here we go. Hello, Gary. Welcome to the Tardis Zone Live. How are you?
Thanks very much, Noel. How are you doing today? I know it's kind of a tough day, but we're all here with you.
Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate it. I'll be okay. You know, it's just one of those. It's a bit of a bummer day for everybody, I think, to be honest with you.
Well, one really quick thing. I'm not going to dwell on it because I don't want to get onto more fun things, but I do want to say, because it's on my heart to say, that, you know, social media and certain YouTube channels and people who have that access, it tends to bring out the worst in people. And I think you were very... I think it was great for you to basically, you know, you kind of extended your hand in peace, and you know, if they like slap it, then that's on them.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you've created a community here in a pretty quick amount of time that really is loyal to you and follows you and loves you. So on kind of hard days like this, we're not downplaying what you're going through, but on hard days like this, just like take strength from all of us who are in the chat and following you and supporting you.
Seriously, I really appreciate that. I'm even getting a little bit emotional about it because it's just been one of those tough days, and yeah. But here, listen,
But
it's go
I
on.
was just going to say is it's just the kind of standard playbook. It goes from if on the net these are on the social media these days, it's like the first tactic is to try to shout down your opponent, and if that doesn't work, you bring out the insults. It's the same thing. I'm not going to get political, but just as an example, the same thing you do with Trump. You try to shout him down, then you bring out the insults, and if that doesn't work, then you try to shame somebody into feeling bad and just kind of going away. And so everything you've described today about what all these groups are doing with you, that's totally out of the standard playbook. It's not about, and also I refuse to believe that these are like long-standing Doctor Who fans. They can say they're Doctor Who fans. That doesn't mean anything. That just is a way to give them quick credibility. I was thinking, I mentioned the other day on my chat with you the Gallifrey One here convention here in LA that goes on every year. One of the things I do at that convention is on Friday night I create and MC the big Friday night pub quiz. We get about 150 people there, and I do about 50 questions. It's like an interactive, fun multimedia thing. And I was thinking when I watched your video about the Time Ladies, I thought I'm not going to believe that they're true Doctor Who fans. I said, let me get them in a room and give them one of my quizzes. And if they pass it, then I'll believe they're true Doctor Who fans. But if not, just go away.
Yeah.
But I know that we have you have the little time clock for the callers these days. So
actually, I don't have it on here. Listen, I don't have it on tonight because do you know what? I'm not going to knock everybody. I'm not going to knock anybody off until they have their say. We go for 3 hours anyway, so we'll go for at least 15 minutes anyway. See how it goes there, and then we'll see. Yourself. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, anyways, so I had after yesterday's show kind of prompted a couple things going around in my head. So I had a couple observations. I had one kind of speculation, kind of what if question I want to toss over to you. And then I have something that I saw on another site today that I wanted to bring up. But anyway, the first thing really quickly is just one last word about Terrance Dicks to kind of get us started right. And I was just thinking, as much as everybody's talking about the books they read and everything, I was just thinking, if you just stop for a minute and think about everything Terrance Dicks gave to the show in terms of the mythology, just him. In one of his first stories, because he worked on Seeds of Death, but think about the War Games, his first story. He created the Time Lords.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing. And then you look in the John Pertwee era that he basically kind of shepherded and oversaw. So Terrance Dicks kind of helped give us the Master, the unit, the concept of the unit family, with all those great characters. Two amazing companions in Joe Grant and Sarah Jane Smith.
Yeah,
was under his tenure. He was kind of partly responsible for helping to cast Tom Baker and writing his initial story. And after the first Hartnell to Troughton, they called it in the show more of it was a renewal. But you think with the War Games and then later on with the Planet of the Spiders, Terrance Dicks really helped kind of cement more of the details about regeneration itself and kind of all those things, legacies that have lasted for decades, and it was all on his watch.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of give another shout out to Terrance Dicks.
No, rightly so. He deserves all the accolades that come his way. I mean, I was even annoyed at some of the responses from some so-called, big Doctor Who related sites. I didn't think they're obviously. I didn't think their respect. I don't think their posts were really. There didn't seem to be any heart in them. It was just like, I'll retweet someone's tweet and that's good enough, and that's not good enough when, as you said, a guy like him has done so much for this show, and it should not be understated. I I mean, I've read other great stories on Twitter about how he helped a lot of young boys and girls to learn how to read and write. I mean, the guy is just a legend. I've been reading little cheeky stories about him as well, where he'd go to these conventions, and as you know yourself, he does have an opinion, a very strong opinion on certain issues, and he'd cause a few ripples around apparently, because I put up a video, obviously, of him, where he was saying there was a danger that if Doctor Who got too political, it would lose itself. And oh my God, never a truer word has been said. The BBC, in fairness, should have been tapping this guy for years. For years. The knowledge, the understanding he has for this show, I just don't know why they didn't bring him on as some sort of consultant or something, because I'm being honest with you, this show would not be in the state that it's in right now.
Well, and in the Third Doctor, he really gave us the concept of the Doctor as an action hero.
Yeah.
And that, you think about that kind of characterization, played a huge part in the way that Tennant kind of played the role.
Yeah.
A little bit in Smith, although Smith was more kind of a mix of a lot of Trout in his too. Capaldi clearly drew on Pertwee as his kind of. So even the way that modern Doctors are portrayed is due to the way that Terrence Dicks helped shape the Doctor back in the classic series.
Yeah, I've been watching Pertwee's era, and I just watched last night. I watched the Green Death. Yeah. I tell you, I sat here with a smile on my face. Never enjoyed. Now, obviously, I'd seen it when I was younger, but it's been a while now since I've been kind of reacquainting myself with the classic series. Obviously, I'm older now, so I've been reacquainting myself. But Pertwee's era, I love Pertwee's era, and I do like the action style Doctor. I actually really, really, really am enjoying his era. I think he's underrated, to be quite honest with you. I know Tom Baker's the definitive Doctor and all this, but I would actually put him up there in the same category. To be honest, he'd be the same level as far as I'm concerned. I really enjoy these Doctor, and Joe Grant. Joe Grant, I love Joe Grant. What a character! I have to say, Horn John Pertwee, Kathy Manny, the chemistry between those two was amazing as well. It wouldn't have worked.
Yes.
That wouldn't have worked. That dynamic wouldn't have worked if there was no chemistry there. And there was clearly chemistry there, because in certain scenes you could see that he really cared for that woman. Like, he really took her under his wing and he looked after her.
And that if they did, the reason that I think that was so great and so memorable is a lot of it was it was understated, and a lot of it was unstated.
Yeah.
Because that if they did that today, you'd have like the sledgehammer dialogue making it completely obvious. That her departure scene, I think, is the model for all great companion departures. Even so much, I can't remember if you've said if you were a Sherlock fan, but I think it was in one of in the Sherlock story where it's the wedding reception, and Sherlock leaves silently by himself, gets in the car and drives away. The framing of that whole scene is almost shot for shot from The Green Death. And I read later that Mark Gatiss said that was completely intentional.
Wow. Wow, never. I am a Sherlock. Well, I was a Sherlock fan. It kind of went a bit mad after.
Go watch that scene again.
I will.
Since you just watched the Green Death, since the Green Death is fresh in your mind,
Yeah.
go watch that Sherlock scene and your jaw will drop.
Oh my God. Yeah, I will. I will. I definitely will because, yeah, that wasn't. It was. It was. I actually felt so sorry for the doctor when he was leaving. I was like, oh, he's lost
And even the
Joe.
way that shot with that last long shot of the car in the distance,
Yeah.
and the sunset, it doesn't just cut to the credits; it slowly fades.
Yeah.
Into the credits.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. Let me see. One other thing I wanted to bring up to one of your posts from yesterday. I wanted to take just a second and comment on the season 23 Blu-ray trailer, which you posted about. And first of all, I think it's great that they're making these promos. It's almost kind of like mini movies. The promo for the season 10 Blu-ray set was a newly shot scene of Joe and Cliff going back to fight maggots as a way to. That was the newly filmed scene, and they did for the season 23. They did a newly filmed scene with Colin Baker, and now the newly shot scene with Ace. And I was watching that, not only her new stuff, but then the shots of, from the actual episodes.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking that, I know that, we're not going to talk about season 11, but I do have to say that I thought, man, those 3 minutes that I just watched was more entertaining and exciting than the entire season 11. And that was just in 3 minutes of a Blu-ray trailer.
Definitely. I agree. 100% agree. That trailer gave me goosebumps just even seeing her in that scene. And another interesting thing, though, I made an observation. I could be wrong, but I'm no camera expert myself. But it looked like that the shots that they had taken and the footage they taken were the same cameras that they had used for Series 11. So, because you could see that it was definitely they put a lot of work into it. But that's what you get when you get Pete McTighe. That's the guy that actually did the trailer. The guy that obviously we've said on this channel is rumored to be temporary charge of Doctor Who. So he's the guy behind that trailer. So it's actually very interesting, and he's been very active as well, believe it or not, on Twitter. More so than actually Chris Chibnall. Chris Chibnall did that statement, but he's been silent and silent and silent, and the only one that's talking is the guy that we said, was in temporary charge. He's done the bloody trailer. He's all over Twitter. You can actually check out his account. He's on Twitter. And he's talking. He did a lovely thing for Terrence Dix. That's the way it should have been done. A statement by Chris Chibnall, not from, I don't know if it was from his official, if he has any official websites or whatever pages, but I found it. I don't know. I didn't find his and it boiled me blood actually. I don't know. It's just like he was just saying the things that needed to be said. It could be just me because I obviously don't like him a showrunner and I could be reading too much into it. But the guy that I have suggested on this channel that's took temporary charge seems to be actually in charge. So I mean, I don't know. Well, as I said,
it just seems like, especially because then after I watched that, after looking at your video, I went back on YouTube and watched the trailers, the Blu-ray trailers they did for like 12, which was Tom Baker's first season, and then one for Peter Davison's first season. And those like trailers are great. And I'm sitting there thinking, who wouldn't want, as much as like new fans, I use the term fans loosely, people who say, well, classic series is this, classic series is that. You can't watch these trailers of these seasons they're releasing without thinking like, who wouldn't want to watch that? compared to some of the newer stuff, which is like blander and stuff. But you watch these like season-long trailers, and you go like, man, that's amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the classic series just tends, even in making these trailers, just tends to bring out the passion in people because they're more passionate about, classic, series. Now, I'm not saying like one's better, but it just seems like people want to give the best they have for anything related to the classic series.
Yeah, because there is, believe it or not, there is the people that are working on these trailers, you can clearly see by the trailers that they clearly love the show. Do you know what I mean? And they want to do it as much respect as possible. Now, after watching that Ace trailer, how long was the trailer? Forget about all the footage that they showed, but that actual trailer itself with just her in it, what was it, a 30-second trailer?
Probably about 2. The whole thing was about 3.5 minutes, so I would probably think the new footage was maybe about 2.
Right. Okay. So we say in those 2 minutes, right? I wanted an Ace spin-off.
There you go.
And you know what? It wasn't a person that I would even think of the spin-off, but that trailer was so good that I would love to see that happen. To be quite honest, not now, obviously, because the shit show we have now, but maybe later on down the line. Why not? I think Ace, like people say with Paul McGann, right? Ace really deserves another crack at the whip. Why not have our own little spin-off? There is an opportunity here, right? Because we had the Sarah Jane Adventures, right? That went very well. Why not do an Ace spin-off and have another one? And then it's a female lead, isn't it, as well? So like the people can't complain, or fans can't complain that there's not a female lead. Do you know what I mean? And then I think this is actually a good idea. I made this point. Why not bring back Ace? Have her in a spin-off. Obviously, she's a woman, so people won't be complaining, right? Change the gender of the Doctor back to a man, right? And then everybody wins. They'll have their Ace spin-off, and then Doctor Who then will go back to the way it should be. And then you can cater for all fans that way.
You could actually even do not the spin-off from what was in the trailer. I mean, what was her organization? It was like, was it a Considerate Earth or something like that?
Yeah.
That's a big enough thing that would cover a broad amount of things that she could potentially be involved in. Yeah. Not only like real world stuff, but I mean, like, monsters, villains, whatever. I mean, they could use that trailer as the premise for an Ace spinoff. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's something worth considering, to be quite honest with you. And if anybody at the BBC actually had half a brain, they could capitalize on this, because that trailer did cause an awful lot of emotion. And I will say, it actually, even the newer fans, and I'm not going to slate all new fans because they're not all bad, but even some of the newer fans were very excited about this as well. I know there is some fans out there that say, no, they don't want an Ace spin-off. That's fair enough, but why not? Why not? And as someone said there, they could make an adult drama.
And when she looks and sees the question mark candle through the light on the door, tell me your heart didn't skip a beat.
I couldn't believe. I thought he was going to burst through the door, man, to be honest with you. And then when it didn't happen, I was so disappointed. That's what I mean. See, that's what a trailer's supposed to do. But that's what a trailer's supposed to do. It's supposed to get you excited. And then at the same time, if you don't get what you want, it's supposed to give you that disappointment because you want more. And it made me want more.
Right.
I'm all for an Ace spin-off. I would even, start the campaign. Why not? Get an Ace spin-off. Why not? Hey,
I really want to, just for a minute, hop over to Capaldi really quick. I read a story on, it was Cosmic Book, not Comic Book News, but Cosmic Book News, which is a pretty decent website in terms of good sources. And they were actually quoting something Capaldi said up at Fan Expo in Canada a couple of weeks ago. And he was talking, I guess somebody had asked him about the Suicide Squad thing. And I hadn't seen this reported. Apparently a fan asked him about, because he had kind of like a buzz cut. He had a very kind of short buzz cut and asked him about why he buzzed his hair. And he said, at the moment I can't tell you, not because I don't want to, just because I'm not allowed to. He says, but I am for the movie going to be completely bald. He said they started because they had to do some prosthetics. But he said, leave a little bit because I got to go to Toronto, and he wants to look good for the fans up in Toronto. And he said they had to do some head casts and stuff. So now the speculation is, well, what would a bald Peter Capaldi be playing? Somebody think, well, is it going to be Mr. Freeze? Or is it going to be a character, Hugo Strange, who was in the Batman cartoon or whatever? So now the speculation is, who could a bald Capaldi be playing? But the whole concept of him being bald in this, by his own admission at Fan Expo, was something I'd never heard until he read that story. So now it comes down to who's the bald Capaldi going to be?
Yeah, do you know what? I wasn't a fan of the first movie. I've openly said that. It wasn't the greatest, but the fact that Peter Capaldi is actually in this movie, I'm gonna watch it anyway because he's in it, and I haven't seen him in that in a while, so it'd be nice to see him back on TV again, to be quite honest with you. And I hope it does go well, because the fact that I wouldn't like him to be in anything rubbish, because let's be honest, under Moffat it didn't really go too well for him. So yeah, why not?
Well, Peter Capaldi automatically elevates anything he's in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't wait. I really can't. It's going to be. Yeah, go ahead.
No, one question I wanted to kind of ask you that was sparked by your conversation, I think it was with Amy yesterday on yesterday's show, because you were talking a lot about Capaldi, and I adore Capaldi. I actually really do think, by the way, I think his whole era is going to, I'm certain that his whole era is going to have a reevaluation for the better someday. I really do believe that. But anyway, one question I wanted to ask you, kind of like a what-if question. I think Amy was talking about, well, it's because he could have gone and done the full 7 years, like a Tom Baker thing, and I know you agreed with her. And I was actually just kind of thinking, I kind of wanted your thoughts on this. Do you think Capaldi would have, the Capaldi's doctor, and I'm thinking more his season 9, season 10 doctor, not so much this season, but the doctor he evolved into. Do you think that he would have worked if he would have come right after Tennant? If Peter Capaldi would have been hired as Tennant's successor instead of Matt Smith, because I was thinking about this. You have Moffat at the beginning of his run. You have Capaldi with Amy and Rory, and Moffat doing the crack arc. You would have had him around for the 50th, probably. All the writing would have been before the agenda writing took over. I'm just wondering, do you think that would have worked, having him come in, basically lift Matt Smith out, put Capaldi in, probably for a longer run? Do you think that would have worked?
Honestly, I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Doctor Who under Tennant, when it got to the specials, was really on a downward trend. It was actually losing viewers. So I think if you had went with Peter Capaldi, an older doctor at that time, I don't think we'd be talking about Doctor Who right now. I think Matt Smith elevated the role. It became more. Everybody knew about it then after Matt. I'm not saying the other doctors didn't make it worldwide. I'm not saying it wasn't known, but I mean, he really did bring it to a whole new level. And he, I think his doctor, Matt's doctor at the time, was the right choice, to be honest. I don't believe we'd be talking about Doctor Who right now if Peter Capaldi had took over from Tennant. No. I think.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying I dislike Smith.
Yeah, I know.
He was the one. He was the one that led to the kind of bursting through in America. BBC America was really under Matt Smith.
But here's the thing: do I think Capaldi should have followed after Matt Smith? Again, no, I think it was the wrong time for Capaldi to actually take the role, to be quite honest with you. For me personally, after Matt Smith, I would have loved the show to go on a year or two break and then maybe bring him on board. Let the fandom settle for a while and then bring him in, because as soon as they brought him in, people were missing. Like, we have to, whether we like it or not, a lot of the fangirls were devastated when Matt Smith left. So to bring in an older guy, some of them were never going to accept them in the first place. And then there was
Right.
others. Then, as you seen yourself, they criticised, said he was too old, when that clearly is a stupid statement to make, because obviously the Doctor is being played by mostly older men. So, but I don't know. I honestly, but Capaldi now probably zero. If not with this writing, though, I'm glad he left. I actually am glad he's gone. Whether he left or he got
Oh well,
pushed, I
yeah.
believe he was pushed, right? But whether he left of his own accord or whether he was pushed, right, I'm actually glad he's gone, because I would not want him to be associated with the rubbish that Chris Chibnall has written. Now, for anybody out there that thinks that it would have been different, no. There's an article out there. You go and hunt it down yourselves, right? Or I'll try find the files and pull it up later on. Chris Chibnall said that he had told none of his writers that the Doctor was going to be female. So they wrote all the stories the way they'd write all the stories, thinking that it was a male Doctor, right? Obviously, then he told them, and then they had to tweak the scripts. Could you imagine if Peter Capaldi, not even his great acting would save that pile of crap? I'm glad, whether he was pushed or whether he left himself, I'm glad he's gone, because he would not have deserved this era, to be quite honest with you. No.
I totally agree. And actually, as a quick follow up to that, and as the thing I want to kind of close on, because I know you have some people coming in,
no problem.
is I actually want to recommend something for everybody who's a Capaldi fan. Now, as far as the comics go, I'm not talking about the Titan comics, which are all like the little pamphlet comics. So I think the problem with those comics, and they did like, 8, 9, 10, 11 doctors, and they're doing, is they get too mired in like the continuity and nostalgia and disappear up their own, end. But I want to highly recommend for anybody who kind of wants more Capaldi is to find the graphic collections that are put out by Panini of the comics from the Doctor Who magazine. They cover Capaldi's era, and he was in the comics in the magazine for about 4.5 years, mostly written by two guys, and the most amazing arcs. And you can hear Capaldi's voice in every panel. It is honestly, Nolan, I'm not exaggerating, it's like getting, there's 5 volumes. It really honestly is like getting 5 extra seasons of Capaldi. The story arcs are amazing. For example, there's one story they do where he and Clara are in Antarctica and run into another Clara shard and all the fallouts from that. There's one that takes place in 1941 out in the desert where they meet up with Field Marshal Rommel and fight the Sontarans, which is amazing. But the best one, and this one I think will probably send people to Amazon right now, there's one of the graphic novels which at the end of one of the arcs, the Tardis gets disabled and almost destroyed. And basically, Capaldi's Doctor is stranded in London in 1972 for a year while the TARDIS heals itself and stays with a family who becomes the supporting characters for that year of the comic while he's just on Earth. And while he's there, who does he encounter and fight in a fantastic arc? The Roger Delgado Master.
No way.
That alone, that is an amazing story of Capaldi's Doctor versus Delgado's Master. And
Wow.
that's the quality of stories that you can find. So I honestly, it really is like getting full extra seasons of Capaldi, and there's 5 of them out there. I would just say people start at volume 1 and go forward. If you're missing Capaldi, those things are like a tonic. So I highly recommend them.
Right. Do you want to give those, put the name, do you know the name of all the books you want to give a shout out there? Give the books all a shout out there.
Okay, the first is called, I wish I had a camera I can show you. The first volume is called The Eye of Torment.
Right.
The second volume is called The Highgate, Highghgate, The Highgate Horror. I'll put these on the, I'll list them in the chat too.
You list
the
them
Highgate
in the chat.
Horror. One is called Doorway to Hell. That's the master arc. One is called The Phantom Piper. And then the final volume is called The Clockwise War, which is a big, like, 10-part. Pretty much that's the entire. Most of them are collections of like 4 or 5 stories that kind of link into each other and lead to kind of like a quote-unquote season finale. But yeah, I'll put all the titles in there, and so people can search them out on Amazon. But if you love Capaldi and want more really good, solid Capaldi by writers who love the character and have the character's voice and give you stories that there's no way that the actual TV show would have done, this is your remedy. So hopefully people will go seek those out.
Thanks very much, Gary, for that.
All right, Noel, and I'm going to let you go. So it was great talking to you. We'll talk again real soon.
Yeah, and don't forget to put those. Obviously, you will just put those links up so everybody can. Thanks very much, and thanks for coming on. Obviously, you'll come on during the week as well, won't you?
Oh, as if I'm available and we can fix it where I'm not at work because I'm 8 hours behind you. No absolutely, problem. I will.
No problem. Go on. I'll talk to you. Sure, we'll see it in the live chat anyway, right? Thanks very much for calling in. I appreciate it very much and your support.
Okay, stay strong. We're all with you, Noel.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you. You too, mate. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that was Gary, folks. Some great points there. I'll read out some of your comments because I see that the live comments, and what I'll do is I'll read out a few before I get the next call on. So I'll just try. Let's see. We will. Old Time Lord says, make it an adult drama with Ace. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Dane says a spin-off. Super John says JNT did not kill the show. It was down to the problem is that he did not know how to put the stories together. He was also under pressure from Michael Grades, who wanted the show finished. Not my Doctor Who says, I got the goosebumps when you saw the shadow of the 7th Doctor umbrella in the door window. That 2 minutes was better than Series 11, and Sophie Aldred, a way better actress than Whittaker. That's that you don't even have to make that statement. That is so true. Anyway, Badwell 66 says Doctor Who has the potential to be an adult show if it wanted to could, but again, I am actually all for inclusion and to include the kids into it, because remember, we were kids when we were hiding behind the sofa watching it. I've no problem with this show having content for kids in it, but it did actually. I mean, if people think that the classic era was for children, it certainly became more for the adults, but you have to cater for everybody nowadays. Revelation of the Daleks is a fine example of Doctor Who being more adult, says Badwolf 66. Yvette says they did Torchwood as an adult. Actually, I think Yvette said she was gone, so I'll say good night. I say good night in the live chat there, but I'll say good night. And we'll talk to you soon. Oh no, that's a private conversation. Stephen Cassidy says JNT was not a writer or creative type, unlike Letts, Hinchcliffe, Williams, so he used to hire writers, and when he run out of writers, Yeah, ran out of writers. Yeah. Michael Grade killed the first run of the show, says Daniel. Paul says, "Oh, that's a private conversation. What about Maisie and Jenna spin-off in the Tardis?" Says Dan. Um, Me personally, I wouldn't like it. But I don't think you'd be able to get the two of them in a spin-off, to be quite honest, because both of them are very, very in demand at the moment. Um, and I don't think the BBC now could afford those two, to be quite honest with you, to do a full spin-off. Paul's here. At the time, many fans didn't like didn't like the show during the JNT years. They were a good few stories, but JNT started the end. Michael Gray didn't want the show gone as well. True. Um, Stephen Cassidy says, "Who's Bal Capaldi playing both Bofeld?" He's playing someone in Suicide Squad too. Which is exciting. Paul says the new fans don't like all their actors playing the Doctor. No, they don't. And I'd agree with that. But you know, if but here's the thing: it makes no difference how old you are if the writing is actually spectacular. Well, it doesn't have to be spectacular all the time, but if the writing is engaging to fans, I think people can overlook age. I mean, they have for 50 what's it now? We're going coming into the 56th year now, 55 years of Doctor Who, like, and they haven't really had our problem. The only problem that they've had is writing, mostly, and people haven't got a clue. People in charge that haven't got a clue what they actually have in front of them and what potential it has. Uh, is Watch Joe UK or Mojo UK on YouTube, is he telling true at Series 12 would have the Daleks, June Summons, Zygons, Solarians, Autons, Weeping Angels, Sea Devils, and much more. Was he trying to say that they're all coming back for Series 12? A lot of people, as I said, there's a lot of channels out there that do different news. And I'm not going to speculate whether people are telling the, you know what I mean. People have their channels and people do their own thing. So I don't know. Um, we do know the Jadun and the Daleks and the Cybermen, because the Daleks will appear. Um, Paul, do you think that Capaldi would have worked in the classic series? That's a good question, Daniel. Um, Vest says at the beginning of the Moffat era, Paul says, "I'm afraid you're right, sad but true." Ian says, "I do think Capaldi was persuaded to leave by the BBC. I do firmly believe that myself. Of course, I'll be criticised for that now as well. Basically, you're saying he was pushed. You have an agenda. I don't. It's all indicated. Like 3 weeks before, um, you know, beforehand, he was all excited about working with Chris Chibnall, and then 3 weeks later, he was gone. So you can read whatever you want into that. Capaldi is a brilliant actor. He would have worked perfectly in the classic era. The first four actors were all over 40 years of age. Hartnell was 56 when he started. Exactly. Stephen Cassidy, Doctor Who's led by the producer. If you get a bad doctor and a bad producer, then you are finished. Uh, At the time, Peter Davison went through the reverse of Capaldi for being so young. Funny how times have changed, says Paul. I agree. Um, why did Matt Smith's Doctor only um, why did Matt Smith's Doctor only expand and two lies in the time of the Doctor? Um, Bull says, I just watched the McCoy trailer. I got a picture made with Sophie and Sylvester in 1993. We were so young. Daniel says, awesome stuff, Gary. Capaldi brought back the mystery of McCoy's doctor. Um, Dane says, I am going now, boy. Um, Good night, Dane. Talk to you soon. Great call. Gary says, not my Doctor Who. What I liked about the Doctor is he was like a teacher teaching right from wrong, fighting against the darkness in the universe. Times champion sort of stuff, says Super John, and welcome, Super John. Big Finish has some good books with the CIA, the Celestial Intervention Agency, the Super Secret Time Lord Agency, says Paul. The True Whovian, for some reason I like all your streams and then leave. I need to stay now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, the True Hoovian, and welcome aboard. I'm not actually that bad of a bloke, but people like to think and people like to spread rumours and say that I am, but I'm not. I'm actually a good bloke and I'm very engageable as well, by the way. In 1997, Pyramids of Mars had me scared for days. Sutek the creeped me out as a 5 year old boy. I have Pyramids of Mars. It's one of my favorite stories, actually. Paul. Um, and yeah, I agree with you. Zootek, if I remember, I watched the bonus features on it. It was a voice actor. That they got to play that role. It wasn't actually someone that was a proper or stage actor or something. Someone that had that distinctive voice. They got. I found TQ to be too adult. Um, Torchwood says Bull. Lindsay says, I'm welcome. Hi, all. Just wanted to check in. Enjoy your chat. We'll catch up soon. We will talk to you soon. You watch yourself. Look after yourself. Gary says, I collect. Oh, that's there you go. So, if anybody wants to know the name of those books, Gary has obviously left the list of the books there um, for everybody. So, and Paul says, I don't want the Maisie Williams, Jenna Coleman spin off at all. The True Whovian says, oh, there's a Rose spin off on audio coming soon. Yeah. Um, Rose is still popular with some fans in the fandom. I, me personally, they actually analyze the character. She's quite selfish and stuff, and you know, yeah. No, what is wrong? Those dark clouds over you. I know I've heard something went on earlier, but I don't know what. I just want to forget about it. There just seems to be more of a. It just seems to be a bit of a campaign against me right now, and I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't like that, but thanks for asking. See, this is why I love all you guys in these comments. Um, and Gary was right. We have built up a little community here, and it's great to see you all actually interacting with each other as well. And I know some of you have probably made friendships off the chat, which is great. That's the reason for this. I like Maisie Williams as an actor. I don't like the character of Shielda. I agree with you. I don't like the character of Shielda, but I do like Maisie Williams as an actress. She's brilliant. She was brilliant in Game of Thrones. Um, Ian says, ever see DS9 story More Trouble with the Tribbles? How they put the DS9 cast into the 60s Trek. Who should do that for the 60th? That wouldn't be a bad idea, Ian. I actually do know the DS9 episode you're talking about, even though I'm not the biggest DS9 fan. Um, I should actually go back and watch it again because I heard when you watch it now, it's actually better. So I might give it a go. I Jordan says hi, chat, and welcome aboard. Gabriel Wolf played Zutek. Brilliant performances, Paul. Gotta go. Have a good one, says Stephen Cassidy. Good night, Stephen. You look after yourself, pal, and we'll talk to you soon. Paul says Maisie is a good actor, each to their own. Noel, I'd like to call in to discuss actors at some point. No problem. I'll be taking another call now in a second. Sorry, I'm just um I know I'm kind of losing track of everything right now, but I just want to try get as many of the comments because I neglect the comments when I take the calls, and I try get everybody in as much as I can. Clara and me spin off Z says LOL, so basically make it third. Fall asleep. Evil, your evil is my good. I am Zutek, the destroyer. Where I tread, I leave nothing but dust and darkness. I find that good, says Gary. um, if you don't mind, I normally don't really move, but I actually need to go to the little men's room. Oh, I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore. I'm going to the little girls' room. Oh no, I can't say that either. I'm going to the little person's room. What is it on? Yeah. Right, I apologise for that. I just couldn't hold it in any longer, to be quite honest. And you know what they say, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Right, I'll take the next caller. But Gary, well done, great call. I appreciate you coming on. Um, is there fighting going on in the live comments, or are you all just messing with each other? Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. I'm seeing what's happening now. Sorry, I'm stupid tonight. Right. Uh who else did I say was coming on? Oh yeah. I had hold on. Paul, wasn't it? Because Paul was on the list as well, actually, because Paul did actually ask to come on. I will get to the others on the list. I know not my Doctor Who, if you're still here, I know you want to come on. I know Daniel's keen to come on as well. So we'll get as many views on, promise. And whoever I don't get on tonight will obviously be bumped up top of the list. So if there's anybody I don't get tonight, but I'll try get as many views in as I can. So if I'm correct in saying, did I get him? Hold on, I need to make sure. Okay, Paul, if you could do us a favor and just send me a message on Messenger to let me know that you are ready to go, and we will continue with the next call. But listen, as you've seen, there's people that have been on a few times, and then we had some new callers. And as you can see, it's quite relaxing atmosphere now. So if you're genuinely interested in coming on, we have Paul there. Paul is actually ringing me instead of me ringing him, so that's even better. Hold on, Paul. Can you hear me there? Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah. Welcome to the Tardis Zone, Paul. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm not too bad. And you?
I'm good, Ashley.
Good. That's good. That's nice to hear. So, what would you like to talk about tonight?
Yeah, so the thing that was on my mind was actors. Okay, now
We all know now. I know you said that you don't want to talk about CEO. You don't want to talk about Jodie Whittaker.
Right.
Fine. I have zero problem with that.
Great. Just for tonight, anyway, we do just something little
I
bit
got
more.
you.
Yeah. Go ahead, anyway.
So here's the thing as it relates to television actors, because we've all seen actors and they have roles, their performance, and we love the show. My response to people who don't really understand television acting, you have to see what that actor has done in every other role, because many of these actors are one-dimensional. Some of them star in absolute mega hit shows, and once that show's over, you never see them again because they're a one-dimensional actor. You have to see them in other roles. You have to look at them when they do interviews, when they do Comic-Con. Observe how they talk, their mannerisms, and then compare that to the role that they were in that you loved so much. If you can't tell any discernible difference, that is a hallmark. That is not a good actor.
Yeah.
And if by chance, and if you see them in any other role, okay, that will let you know how good of an actor that person is. Because if you see the same character again in a completely different vehicle, and you know that is a good actor. So there was a certain individual who was a woman who will not be named, judging by every criteria I just stated, is not a good actor.
No.
Now, I'm going to relate that to the rest of New Who and the rest of Classic Who. David Tennant.
Yeah.
I know the woman loves Skinny Boy Tennant, but he's not a good actor. He is an over actor. He was silly. He was a lot of his performances were overly emotional and they were forced. And if you ever look at anything else that he's ever done, same thing. He's an over actor who's silly, and he's just not that good.
Right.
Now, Matt Smith, brilliant.
Yeah, I love Matt Smith.
Matt
Smith is a good doctor, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So that's New Who, and Alan Baker. I'll tell you, first time I saw him, I was in the U.S. We were about a 2 to 3 year backlog.
Yeah.
So I was maybe 13, 14 when I first saw Alan Baker. At the time, I didn't like. In fact, you know what? I hate it. But he's grown on me because he is a good actor.
Yeah.
And he wasn't given the best story.
No.
That costume was horrible.
Oh, that costume is god awful, man. Yeah. That costume. He was. He actually, I actually put up a video of an interview that he recently did, and he was saying if he had his time again, he would definitely make certain changes. People have said that he's better on Big Finish, and I've listened to a couple of his Big Finish ones myself, and I would actually have to agree with that statement. Look, nobody can deny that Colin Baker he is a good actor, right? He is a good actor. We all know he's a good actor. He was just given bad material. The difference with today's era, with the person that we won't mention their name, is that not only have they been given bad material, they don't act very well. They're one-dimensional, no screen presence. And if you don't have any of that, and along with the bad writing, then you're not going to succeed.
Exactly. And listen, maybe I'm biased because Peter Davison was the actor who replaced Tom Baker. And I love Tom Baker.
Yeah.
But I do not think Peter Davison I think he's decent at best. I watched him his entire run with All Creatures Great and Small. So I have seen his other work.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's a good actor.
I agree.
But to each his own.
Yeah.
Matt Smith to me was brilliant because he managed the kinetic energy of Trout. He managed to capture the underlying wisdom of Tom Baker, and he managed to capture a little bit of whatever that gravitas is that Paul McGann brought to the screen.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So to me, Matt Smith is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I love Matt Smith's Doctor. I mean, he won me over straight away. I mean, I had me doubts about him. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had me doubts about David Tennant and every other actor that has taken the role of the Doctor. You're always gonna have some hesitation, and you're always gonna say, "Why this person?" But at the end of his 11, well, not even at the end of his 11th hour episode, he had won me over pretty quick. I mean, that whole kitchen scene with little Amelia, that's where he won me over. He won me over right there. But then when he did that, I am the Doctor speech. Right, when he did that speech, that was it. He was my doctor. He was the Doctor. He convinced me. And that's what good actors do.
Right. They absolutely win you over. They have that gravitas, that screen presence. They win you over. Matt Smith, out of any Doctor, even Tom Baker, Matt Smith is the only actor for me personally. Within 5 minutes, I was sold.
Yeah.
I was absolutely sold because even Tom Baker, when I saw the first episode of Robot, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure about his performance as well. I was like, I wasn't when I first seen him. I was like that as well. But you always have that with every actor, I think. The only difference is today, and again, without mentioning people's names, you still feel like that after watching the whole series. You're not convinced. And if people are going to keep saying, well, you have to give another season, if you need to give a person another season to actually, convince the masses that this person is actually playing the Doctor, well, then I'm sorry, you failed. And if people want to twist that and say that's negativity, that's fine, but that's my opinion, and it's a lot of other Whovians' opinion as well. So I mean, our opinion should be dismissed just because some people think that this era is actually fantastic and it's the best thing since sliced bread. There's a lot of us out there that actually think a corpse is more entertaining than Series 11. So, I mean, I'd rather watch paint dry, Do you know what I mean? So, that's just my opinion, but a lot of other Whovians share that opinion as well. I mean, look, nothing's ever going to be, we know this, nothing's ever going to ever come close to the classic era. Never. Not even New Who. It's never ever going to touch it. The only thing that I hate is that they're trying very hard to link the two shows together, right? And to make it as one animal, one machine. It's not. It's two separate entities. And
but they're not, though. But no, that's the thing. They're not trying to new to old. They are doing their best. They are far away possible from the canon. Only thing they've given us Dalek, name only. Given us Cybermen, in name. Given us Centaurans, in name. Auton, Silurians, Ice Warriors.
Yeah.
All of that in name only. They even had that story with that demon who was part of the 9-month break, like an offshoot. So, but again, bearing can more possible. So I really don't think that they're trying to permit to do one. They're trying to link the canon to the new show, but for some reason, someone at the BBC has taken the reins that no, all over to create a new show. Because Doctor Who starts and ends with the producers. Good producers are going to make good choices. However, someone at the BBC who's not the producer, it's almost as if they've given this directive. You cannot be a producer. unless you follow my blueprint.
Yeah.
And that blueprint is to stay as far away from cancer as possible.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I said it before, and I'll say it again. The day of the doctor was a perfect opportunity. First of all, okay, I understand that Black Bulls Christmas.
Here, Paul, before you make your point, you know what I'm going to do? Because you're cutting up very badly there, and I actually want people to hear your point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up, but I'm going to ring you back because I seem to have a much more stable connection.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you are breaking up near the last part of that. Nobody actually got to hear the last part of that bit that you were saying. It's breaking up quite badly here on this end.
All right.
Right, so what I'll do is I'm going to ring you back now. If you can hear me, I'm going to ring you back right now. And here we go. Hopefully now, and then Paul can finish his point. Right, can you hear me now, yeah?
I can hear you fine.
There you go. That's even better straight away. Right, go ahead. Make the point that you were trying to make.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that there was no reason for the day of the doctor. I understand that they blackballed Christopher Eccleston, which to me was just mind-boggling. But my point here is there's absolutely no reason why Tennant and Smith were the only doctors in Day of the Doctor. Why didn't we see Paul McGann? Why didn't we see Sylvester McCoy and Colin Baker?
No, I agree.
And Peter Davison. Yes, we got to see the curator. That was brilliant. I love Tom Baker. And I love that scene at the end. And I honestly never saw that coming. When I tell you I was blindsided, I literally I was very emotional to see the master, the Doctor Who master on screen again. But why didn't we see Davison and Baker and McCoy and McGann on screen if that's Day of the Doctor?
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I know they did a kind of a little piss take where Sylvester McCoy isn't it Sylvester McCoy, Peter Davison, and is it just those two? I think there's another. I think is Paul McGann in it, where they're trying to get in. They're trying to be part of the 50th. And Moffat is in it as well. I forget what the thing is called. But anyway, they did, but that wasn't respectful. Look, they should have been in the 50th anniversary. And if they're still around, which I reckon they will be, they should be definitely in the 60th. It'll be a joke if they're not in the 60th. And Paul McGann, in my opinion, has to be in the 60th. They can't look. I know Moffat brought him back for that little mini, but I want to see more of Paul McGann's Doctor. So I want to see him in the 60th, and I want to see him interact, and I want to see him interact with all the other Doctors too.
McGann is brilliant.
Now I know he is. He's a brilliant actor, man. He's been working on TV and movies for years now. Jesus Christ,
I've seen McGann's work. I love British television and movies. I've seen McGann's work. He is a brilliant actor. He's not good. He's brilliant.
No, yeah, it's a joke. They could bring a spin-off with even him would be success. I don't know. Whoever's running the head of drama at BBC, man. Oh, we know it's Piers Wenger. Do you know what, mate? Listen, I'm available. Yeah, ideas, man, right here. Yeah, if you're looking for someone to save Doctor Who, you're looking for someone to for spin-offs. I'm your man. Yeah, and all these people in the live chat will be my inspiration. Every single one of them actually have better ideas than you're producing right now. So come and engage with the fans, yeah? Like Chris Chibnall used to do Chris Chibnall was given the opportunity to engage with the fans back in the day, yeah? He won't engage with us, so maybe the boss of Chibnall can engage with the fans and actually listen to what we have to say.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. I'm going to New York City Comic Con next month, and I'm going 2 out of the 4 days. If there was a Doctor Who panel, any person from the BBC, I'm going to wring their neck and choke them and ask them, what the hell have you done with my show? What the hell have you done? And I'll say this, for anyone who has not listened to any of the Paul McGann's Big Finish audiobooks, they are brilliant. You do not know what you're missing. Tom Baker's work, McGann's work, Colin Baker's work, all of it. It's absolutely brilliant. You really don't know what you're missing. You know, in 3 minutes of on-screen airtime, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, Paul McGann was more engaging and won you over than an entire season of will not be named. So, with all of that said, I know you had made mention that you want to talk about Classic Who and New Who. You know, as much as I can talk about Classic Who, you know, all day and all night. I mean, I was just quoting dialogue from Pyramids of Mars, but, you know, there are a few stories that kind of stand out. For example, the David Tennant story, Family of Blood.
Yeah.
The Potter.
Yeah, that was Human Nature and Family of Blood. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant story. Excellent writing.
I love them stuff. I actually love those 2 episodes. Yeah, they're brilliant.
And you know what? I'll say this. I don't know what he's doing right now, but if the BBC really wants to go with another younger actor, Harry Lloyd, in my opinion, would make a good choice. I don't see Michael Sheen taking the role. I'm telling you, Harry Lloyd, to me, he's a brilliant actor. He played Baines, you know, the brother of mine from the family.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I liked him in that. Yeah, he's one of my favorites in that. Actually, he was actually quite good. Actually, he was good in that because like he had to basically play an evil part, but like the fact that he could change his whole, like even that little scene in the spaceship when he goes into the spaceship and he's terrified, and then you see the next scene then and his whole demeanor is complete. Like you have to be a good actor to convince people that there's a change that happening with you. And he certainly, I actually love that. Do you know what? You've made me want to watch them tonight now, because they are brilliant. They are great stories. Anybody that come on, there has to be fans there that actually like those 2 episodes. Because and you know what, David Tennant is actually not bad in those 2 episodes either. But it's the Martha Jones show, in my opinion. Martha Jones, most underrated companion in my belief in the New Who era. Martha Jones deserves an awful lot more respect by the fans. She is an absolutely brilliant companion. Seriously, her and Donna Noble are the 2 best companions that we've had in New Who, in my opinion.
You know, it's funny you say that because in my mind, in the new era, Freema Agyeman is a very good actor. I really like the Martha Jones character. I liked her character 1,000 times more than Rose, than Billy Piper. I've seen Billy's work in what was it, The Secret Diary of a Call Girl?
Yeah.
Is the name of it. But so it's not about the actor per se, but Rose's character was very selfish. The character was just a silly premise.
Yeah.
You know, Martha Jones was a much better character. Personally, I'm not a big Donna Noble fan. I never was. I don't know if that's because of the visual aspect. That might have something to do with it. I will freely admit. But as a straight character, separating the visuals of the actor from the role itself, I will agree with you. It was a very solid role. You know, she's not the easiest on the eyes. I will admit that. You know, Freema Agyeman is very easy on the eyes. But even with that said, Martha Jones, to my opinion, was an absolutely brilliant companion. You know, whereas say Clara Oswald, she was useless. But hey, you know what? She's very easy on the eyes. So.
I didn't like Clara's character. Actually, Clara's character, I will actually do, and I keep saying it, but I've actually seen Gary made a good point there. I actually seen flying down in the live comments says, no, let's avoid the toxicity by having stream centered on a single classic Doctor Who era. We can most certainly do that. I've also got another one as well. We could actually we could go through all watching the Pertwee era. One thing that struck me was now obviously I was a kid when I first seen it, so obviously as I said, I'm reacquainting myself with the Pertwee era. The thing that kind of struck me was how much the actual Brigadier is actually in the Pertwee era, and this is what kind of bothers me. How come he's never in any companion poll? Because surely the Brigadier, and the only reason why I say this because I love the Brigadier character. I love Nicholas Courtney. Absolutely brilliant man. Even looking at the interviews on the discs that I have, brilliant, down to earth guy. You could see that he loved playing the role, right? Why isn't that guy should be up there in my opinion, in companions lists? He look, I don't know. I just don't get it. For me, he is considered a companion. What I'm trying to say is, do people in the live comments, and obviously you, Paul, because you're here, do you actually think he should be classed as a companion, or because he works for UNIT, he's not going to be classed as a companion? It was just a kind of you know, an extension of because Doctor was stuck on Earth and stuff, and he had to kind of I don't know. I just think he should be a companion. What do you think?
That's what I was going to touch on. Because he never actually traveled with the Doctor in the TARDIS, he's never been classified as an actual companion. So he started out in the Troughton era as Colonel Lethbridge Stewart. Then during the Pertwee era, he got a promotion to Brigadier General Lethbridge Stewart. But he was earthbound. He never actually traveled with the Doctor. But he got so much love and so much appreciation from the fans. Everybody loves the Brigadier. Yeah. Everyone. And when he passed away, he got such an outpouring of love and respect, condolences from fans around the world. But man, it was absolutely loved.
Yeah.
You know, when he had his comeback story with Peter Davison, when with Turlough and something to do with the Dark Guardian, you know, and the Brigadier didn't remember the Doctor. And then
that's right.
And the first word he says, "Doctor, you've gone and done it again."
I remember that what was her name was in that story. That was the companion. The
was Turlough. It's going to be either Tegan or
it was It was. I think it was Tegan, wasn't it? The Australian one, Australian companion or New Zealand companion. Well, I keep getting confused between the two.
Tegan Jovanka, you know.
Yeah, that's the one. It was Tegan because she goes looking for the brig. Do you remember? There's a scene in it where she's looking for the Brigadier, or she finds the Brigadier and she tells him what's going on and stuff. And yeah, that's a sad episode because there's the Brigadier in that. They say he's if I remember correctly, he kind of lost his marbles or something.
No, he lost his memory, not his marble. He lost his memory.
Oh, his memory.
He hired as a mathematics teacher at a private all boys boarding school.
Oh, that's right.
Memory serves correct.
If
my memory serves correct, anyone in the chat can correct me, I'm sure.
No, someone just said in the comments there, how about Nicholas Hurts, I can never say that, as the Doctor? I believe he could pull it off. Is that the guy that played Rodney out of Only Fools and Horses? If that's the guy that you're talking about. I haven't seen him in a while, and I actually like him as an actor. It's an out there choice, I would admit. But you never know. That could be something that we probably do need. Maybe we don't need someone that's a well known, or like Matt Smith wasn't well known and it worked. David Tennant was known because he was in a show previous called Casanova, And of course, we
Right.
knew who Peter Capaldi and obviously who Christopher Eccleston was. And I mean, Matt Smith's Doctor was really, really popular, and he was a little unknown. Maybe the way to go is maybe an out there choice or someone that's unknown. You know, just someone that we don't not, that we wouldn't even consider. Yeah.
And so one other thing that has really been kind of just eating at me, the way that the BBC has pandered toward new fans. Now, I understand the mentality. I get it. The show has been around for 55 years, 56 now. You want new fans. You want to move forward. You always want a younger demographic. I understand that. I get that. The thing is this. You have a well-established fan base who are almost fanatically devoted to this show. Why do you continue to piss on our heads and tell us it's rain by casting aside everything that we know and love about the show in your constant attempt to pander to new fans? That's one of the things that really pisses me off.
I agree.
Because I really don't get that. I don't understand that. Give us the quality that we're used to. Give us the quality that, well, okay. But what I'm saying is, there's plenty of canon and history to draw from. That's one thing. You want to go forward, you want to move forward. Great, but find good writers. Hire a good producer. Hire someone who's not a hack. Hire someone who has a proven history with sci-fi. And I'll tell you this, in my mind, Ronald D. Moore would be brilliant. The thing is, he's American. Doctor Who is British. It has to be British.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan makes movies. He doesn't do television. However, his brother, I think his name was Jonathan. Unfortunately, he's doing Westworld, or he did Westworld. I would love to see what he would bring to Doctor Who, or someone who knows how to blend good drama, good writing with good sci-fi, because that's what Doctor Who was, and when it does that, it works the best. And even when you take social issues and politics, but you weave them into the story, so you're not overbearing and preachy with it, it works very well. But for some reason, the brass at the BBC has decided they're not going to do that. So it's like they'll only hire producers who will toe the company line. And that's what I fear. That it doesn't matter who the producer is. The producer is going to be someone that the BBC wants to toe that company line. That right there was my biggest fear.
Well, if I do remember correctly, Moffat came out in an article and says that I think he was basically having a pop at a few people because, he has been criticised for his era. And I think he had a bit of a pop, and he basically said that most of this SJW crap was kind of shoehorned in by it was the higher ups that wanted this, and it wasn't necessarily him. And for people that actually doubt that, well, if you actually look, there is an article where Stephen Moffat actually says that Doctor Who shouldn't pander to the liberals and shouldn't pander to any side. It should be for everybody. And then I also put up a video clip, as you've also seen on this channel, where Stephen Moffat says that the show should appeal to everyone. You don't just pander to the left or the right or the middle, you pander to everyone. And this new era is only pandering to a small minority of the world's population. All right. And that's the thing. You've totally the fan base, the loyal fans, the fans that have been around the longest are the ones that have been disrespected, the ones that have been, pushed aside, shunned, basically told, well, this show isn't for you anymore. We were promised when Chris Chibnall took over that the show was going to be for everybody. So am I being thick or something, or Chris Chibnall, could you tell me personally where the show was for everybody? Because as a white male, especially a white male. I felt like you were actually having a dig at me while watching the show, basically saying that single fathers and basically saying that single white men out there and white males in general are just nasty pieces of work. You know, that's not
Yeah,
how you
that
wrote the
was
show.
just disgusting, and it's that entire SJW nonsense. And I remember reading articles where Moffat said that where Doctor Who needs to be inclusionary and it needs to be for everybody. But you're right. The past 3 years, the past 4 years, it has not been that way.
Exactly.
Because even if you look, I believe it was Gary who was talking about Barry Letts. I'm sorry, Terrence Dix, who worked under Barry Letts, who was the producer. But when you look at stories, the Time Monster, the Monster of Peladon, Inferno, the Green Death, Doctor Who and the Silurians. I can go on and on and on. Planet of the Daleks. So many stories that dealt with politics and social issues.
Yeah.
The face of evil, the deadly assassin, robots of death. Which was one of the earliest. Well, which actually is an old trope of our over reliance on technology can bite us in the ass. But the point is, those were stories that were inclusionary. Those were stories that were for everyone, and they appealed to everyone. So at some point, the decision to inject politics, to overtly inject politics, because regardless of how you feel about President Trump, and I'm not going to talk politics at all, my point here is, my takeaway here is, there is no reason we should have had that individual be a proxy for Trump in that story, Arachnids in the UK. And that's as far as I'm going to touch Series 11. I know you said you want to stay away, so I will do so. But if you look at from Eccleston to Tennant to Smith, even into Capaldi, there was no politics. But at the very end with Smith going into Capaldi, what do we see? We started to see more and more
of these type of politics,
political tones, more and more sexual tones, more and more inclusionary tones. And I don't know where I am with Bill Potts' character, because Bill Potts' character kind of reminded me like Clara Oswald's character. The character is useless. The actor is easy on the eyes, but the character is useless. And every other 5 minutes, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. Well, hey, fine, great. Do I go around every 5 minutes saying, hey, I'm straight, I'm straight, I'm straight? I mean, so I don't understand why you feel the need to attack me for being straight. I don't. If I don't attack you for being gay, why attack me for being straight? But I don't want to go there. I don't want to go too deeply.
No, Michael Richardson put a deadly comment. He goes, did you know that Bill was a lesbian? No, we didn't. We didn't know. We didn't know.
I had no idea.
No, watch the whole series 10 and didn't realize. Seriously, I really didn't. It wasn't obvious at all.
Never came across my mind once. Wow, she's lesbian.
And you know what? I actually think Bill, okay, you take the PC crap out of her, she actually wouldn't have been a bad character. I actually did like Bill's character to some degree, but I do agree why people don't like it, because there's no need. Look, she was a good actress. You could see that she was actually a talented actress. So give her some decent bloody scripts to read off. Give her some decent lines.
Yes.
Look, even if she told us once she was a lesbian, we get it. Right? Done. You don't need to tell us every 5 minutes when a bloke goes, oh, you do know I'm into girls. So, here we go again. Like, come on. I don't know. I don't know, man. What?
I don't know. And I'll tell you another thing. Personally, I like Alex Kingston as an actor. I thought she was really good in ER. I don't know if we ever got that over in Ireland, but
no, we got ER here. Yeah, everybody used to believe watch ER.
Okay, I think she's a really good actor,
I agree.
but the whole, me personally, I'm 50-50 on the whole River Song thing because I like River Song as a character. I like what River did. I just didn't like the whole thing with her being the doctor's wife and them actually getting married. Because to me, I really like the thing where we don't see any of the doctor's sexuality at all. And I don't want to put any terms on it. I don't like labels. I don't like boxes. I don't like terms. All I'm saying is it was never written into the story as a topic worth even mentioning.
No, I agree with you. I've dealt with this. I've actually gotten a lot of flack for my opinions on this. I did put up a tweet. There was a photograph of some artist that decided that they'd have actually pop at me, even though there was no watermark on it or no signature. I found it actually on Facebook, but apparently they tracked me down on Twitter and decided that they were going to have a go. Said that they wanted recognition for the art. Basically, it was a picture of Billy Piper looking into Jodie Whittaker's eyes in a seductive way. Right now, I did firstly word it this way. So I said, if you ship these two guys or any female companion onto this Doctor, well then you don't get Doctor Who. Now, of course, as soon as I wrote that, and I should have I should have worded it properly, to be quite honest with you. But even at that, it didn't sound like I was being homophobic anyway, right? But this is what these people then start accusing me of. Oh, you hate lesbians, you hate women, blah, blah, blah. So then I decided, right, I'll put the post back up again, but I'll word it properly. So put the post back up again with the same photograph, and I wrote up, if you ship these two, or you ship Doctor with a male, or whether the Doctor is male and you ship it with a male or a female, it doesn't matter. I says any sexual relationship between the Doctor and anybody is not what the Doctor. No, I didn't put. I'm not more than right. Why am I getting all? It
doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It takes away the dynamic, right? And I'll give a couple of examples, right? So say look at School Reunion, for example, right? School Reunion. Sarah Jane comes back into the picture. Look at the way Rose Tyler acts.
Yeah, that made no sense, and it didn't work. And I'll tell you something else. For me personally, I felt like I was watching a British version of Beverly Hills 90210. I'm like, that has no place in Doctor Who. It felt forced, it felt silly, and it felt like light humor. And I understand a lot of people, especially in America, have fallen in love with, all sci-fi has to have light humor. If not, it's not good. Well, you know what? Listen, wake up, grow up. But to each his own. All I'll say is this. Personally, I did not like that reaction. To me, it did not work. And I'll say this. That whole thing, and I don't know how people feel about this, and I'm not being homophobic at all. And
you don't even need to say this on this channel. We know.
Your opinion, you're automatically homophobic.
No, you're not. But look, we know you're not.
When you put forth certain ideas and themes, that's not Doctor Who. That's Queer as Folk. And I have zero issue with Queer as Folk.
It's a great show.
But okay, I've never seen it, but
it actually is a good show. You'd like it. Good soundtrack. Great show.
But my point here is that put that in its proper context. Put that in Queer as Folk, not in Doctor Who.
Exactly.
And it's funny how people will attack you because you say, well, that theme does not work in this vehicle. So because you say that theme does not work in this vehicle, you get attacked. And the very same people, they attack you, but yet they are attempting to project their narratives and their agendas upon you. And, it's like, enough already.
Exactly.
Enough.
Look,
enough.
I broke it down on Twitter, right? And this is what I said. Doctor Who is a sci-fi show. It's an entertainment show. It's not a sex education show. It's not a sex program. All right. It's Doctor Who. The doctor, whether the doctor is male or female, should not be romantically linked to a companion or any other person for that matter. It takes away from the doctor's dynamic. Also, there is, as I said, a real possibility that a companion could get jealous, or if a companion falls in love with the doctor would become more reckless and say, you know what I mean? It just takes away from the dynamic of the whole. I know this was kind of introduced into the new era, but I've never liked it from day one, and I still don't like it, and I'm not going to change my mind on it. For me, the doctor, whether male or female, shouldn't be romantically involved with anybody. And to be honest, talking about the River Song and Matt Smith wedding, their wedding, I found that highly disrespectful to his so-called family that died in the time war. It was just like even the way the wedding came about. Like he had a family, he had children, and then like they go and just I just found it that's just me. I found it disrespectful.
I, I would agree, and I didn't like it. It felt forced. The whole thing, it felt forced. It did not feel natural.
Yeah, but he had to do something, didn't he? Because he had made this whole thread he did, this story thread, and it had gone crazy. And then he needed to do something, and he used the Tesseract. Fair enough, the fucking robot bleeding. Yo, come on, Jesus Christ, man! What are you doing, Moffat?
MacGuffin device. That's all. That is another MacGuffin device. The same exact thing. The same exact thing Jonathan Nathan Turner did.
Yeah.
The random MacGuffin device when the writing just didn't make sense and the plot holes were so big you could drive an aircraft carrier through. Oh, write a MacGuffin device, and that's the reason.
Idiots.
Things that make no sense. You know? So give me good writing and give me things that make sense. Now, personally, I would like to see a producer that is a good science fiction writer, that is a proven science fiction producer who knows how to seamlessly blend a little bit of action with some good drama, with some good writing, with some good actual science in it. And that, in my opinion, is good science fiction. And it doesn't have to be silly. You don't have to be overtly silly to appeal to the younger fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, Pyramids of Mars, when I saw that at 5 years old, Suchek creeped me out.
Yeah.
I was 5 years old. That creeped me out back in '77. So if you look at the entire Hinchcliffe era, those were not very. There were nothing silly about those stories.
Yeah.
They weren't silly. They weren't over the top, but yet they appealed to fans of all ages. Yeah. For some reason, the BBC seems to feel, and this comes from the brass, who imprint that upon whichever producer they hire to run the show. Because it's a quote-unquote children's show. It has to be silly and over the top and have the light humor. And, there were some of us fans who say, well, no.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
nothing wrong with taking something serious. And it can appeal to people of all ages. And you know what? For those who want things to be light and silly and spoon-fed to you and simple, and silly and childish, you know what? Fine. You can enjoy that. Let us fans who want something with a bit more serious tone to it enjoy those things without a more serious tone.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something else. You have, and I know I'm on a bit of a rant, and I'll wrap it up really, really quick. You seem to have fans who only want one thing, one way, all the time. Like, Doctor Who has to be simple, spoon-fed, light humor, silly, and childish. And if it's anything other than that, it's not childish enough. Oh, it's not silly enough. Oh, it's not light enough. That's not Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like it, but for what? That means it's wrong? I mean, I know that argument can go both ways, but, going back to the classic show, you had how many years of history to show that, there's many different ways to cook this pie.
Yeah, exactly. There's no excuse then. You're right. There is no excuse. You know, you would think because you know, you think writers would have got better over the years. But it seems like we've gone backwards now when it comes to talented writers, and it's not just in Doctor Who. It's obviously everywhere you look now. Don't get me wrong. There's still some good quality shows being made and some deadly writers out there, but the majority of them are just gone as woke as anything, and they just keep churning out this propaganda crap every show. I mean, look at Batwoman again. She causing bleeding murder. The bleeding state of that
Oh,
trailer. But tell you,
please,
it's the,
don't even mention that.
abomination,
Batwoman, just
isn't it?
and then, okay, you know what? I'm just going to say no, and I'm going to leave it there because if I start going down that rabbit hole, I will be accused of being
No, you're cool. We could address it some other time. No, we'll address it. We'll address it some other time because there is. I will be. I do want to actually do a live stream someday on Brie Larson. Obviously, all this controversy with Batwoman, but I also want to talk about Wonder Woman as well because I was a fan of the Wonder Woman movie. So and I I actually did like the Wonder Woman movie. Yeah. Now I know there was a part in the middle of it where it got a bit woke and she got up through the battlefield and all that crap, but the movie wasn't too bad. I mean, it's better than that, and that was out. It was less PC than that, and that we had seen. To be quite honest with you, these past couple of years, I think.
You know what? I liked it when I liked the beginning.
Right.
I liked Wonder Woman when it started. When it got to the little shower scene when they were in the cave, I felt that scene was twice as long as it should have been.
Right.
And I feel from that scene, the whole movie shifted and it slowed down. It's like the movie went from drive to reverse. It just slowed down. And to me, it got slower and slower and slower. And it started to lose my interest.
Yeah.
Every 2 to 3 minutes, it lost my interest, it lost my interest. And the ending scene against Ares, to me, in my opinion, was pure filth. But hey, to each his own. I don't know if it was a bad movie, but I don't think it was a good movie.
Right. Well, that's fair enough. No. I mean, I some people would think Aquaman was actually a great movie. I actually think it was quite boring. Yeah. I'm not a fan. I have to actually say I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Aquaman. And you know what? I don't want to hate on Aquaman because Jason Momoa brilliant as Aquaman, and the visuals were absolutely stunning. In fairness, but it lacked a story. It actually lacked a genuine story. It was boring. It was
so silly. Oh my god, that movie was beyond. And you know what? That was the most overused, rehashed tread ever. The prodigal son returns to take the throne from his brother slash father slash cousin. Come on. I mean, bro, how many times have we seen this story? I mean, just pick the movie where we've seen this story. I don't know. Robin Hood. I mean,
yeah, Robin Hood. Well, yeah.
Pick the story. Coming to America. Lion King. I mean,
I know it's getting a bit. I know.
Yeah, I mean,
no originality, and when there is, they're original for a while, and then they all end up going the same way. Though that's the problem. They all end up being great, like Stranger Things, for example. I mean, when that show first came out, everybody was hyped. Now I haven't seen the last series, but I mean, everybody has talked about how woke it's gone. See, here's the problem I have. If you're going to make a show about the 90s, the 80s, 70s, 60s, whatever, right? Whatever decade you're going to make it, right? Unless it's the 2000s, right? If you're going to make a TV show about the 1980s, right? And this is for any writers out there that are actually currently writing shows from the 80s, right? You need to actually listen to this, right? What you need to do is you need to come out, use our little ideology tunnel, today's ideology tunnel, right? and you have to put you that 80 thinking caps on, right? Because back in the 80s, things were actually completely different, right? Now, things that you might disagree with that happened in the 80s, right? If you're going to give a true representation of what the 80s are like, or the 70s or the 60s in any movie or any film or whatever, or any TV show or whatever it is, you've got to do it based on the kind of ideology and the way society was back in those times. If you try and overlay today's ideology and today's way of thinking onto TV shows like that, well, then you're going to fail. You're going to fail. The reason why people are attracted to the 80s shows, right? And the reason why I was attracted to Stranger Things is because I had none of that PC bullshit. It had the 80s feel about it, and pretty much up to a certain point it was pretty accurate, right? It got us engaged. It had interesting stories. Now, I haven't seen series 3, as I've said, but I've heard it's gone completely bloody woke. And if that's the case, do you know what? I'm just gonna say to the what's the two brothers that made that bloody fucking thing? Well, whoever you are, you're a bunch of clowns for allowing this ideology to go into your show. You had a perfect show and you've completely ruined it now. And if you have gone woke, I hope it actually fails now, because do you know what? You had something, you've destroyed it like everybody else in Hollywood does. Do you know what I mean? Art and good you destroy. All right. You don't use today, but isn't it true, Paul? You don't use today's ideology.
You can't, because that doesn't work, because we live in a completely different world back in the 80s. If you really want to understand the 80s, you have to look at some of the most iconic movies from the 80s. The Terminator, Aliens, Coming to America, Wall Street, Field of Dreams, Batman, Driving Miss Daisy. You have to look at some of the most iconic movies from the 80s to understand what the 80s were. You cannot, there are so many things that the world, it was a completely different time. The whole PC culture did not exist. It was go, 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 go. It was Wall Street. It was greed. It was what was at that time emerging technology. You had drugs. You had media. Computers. Everything was changing. It was all about change. So there was no PC culture. There was no all this woke crap. There was no this social justice warrior BS. There was none of that.
Yeah.
There was none of that. So if you really want to capture and encapsulate the 80s, then you have to adopt that mindset. And if it offends people, and I'll say this, so here I am probably going to get myself in trouble yet again for going down another rabbit hole. But if I say or do something and you don't like it because it offends you, because I've offended you, you feel offended. You have offended me. Does that now give you some sort of power over me because you feel offended? That somehow changes my life because you feel offended? Now, granted, if it goes against your narrative, it goes against your agenda. I understand. We tend to live in polite societies on both sides of the pond, so there are certain, societal rules and things that we all tend to agree we don't say and we don't do. Fine. But some of this stuff is just pure BS. It's like the reason you feel offended is because I don't agree with your narrative of remaking the world under this inclusion nonsense.
Yeah.
But let me stay away from that.
Yeah, we will do. No, do you know what? We will do a live stream some night that's not part of the normal live streams, and we will actually get into the bigger picture with the whole world's media and the way they're making movies and TV shows, because I actually think that this would be a very interesting conversation. And
really quick, there was a classic Doctor Who story, and I watched it a few weeks ago with Tom Baker, the Sun Makers. Very good story. Very underrated story. Again, political and social issues.
Yeah. Same with the Green Debt. That was political and social issues as well. That was all got to do with plutonium and petrol and what you call it. What's his name? The Professor Jones or whatever. The bleeding fucking. He was using fungus. Yeah, so it was like the vegan. It was kind of like a. So it was, but it was very well done. It was, and again, as you said yourself, it was very cleverly written, and that's the difference today. It's like even though there was politics in the show, it was kind of the backdrop, but it wasn't the forefront of that story. It was the backdrop, and then the characters then interacted within that narrative. But
damn preaching, I can't take the preaching where the actors actually start preaching. I'm like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah,
I can't stand it. I'm not a 5-year-old. Don't preach to me like I'm sitting here after you just caught me stealing some cookies out of the damn jar. I can't stand that. You know, we talked about the movie Arrival, and I love Arrival because you had to pay attention to follow the story. I love that. That has gone away from sci-fi.
Yeah.
Sci-fi used to be the one place where you had to pay attention to follow the story. At some point, at somewhere, both sides of the pond got the idea that, well, sci-fi has to appeal to the wider masses, which means you have to dumb it down. Because if we're being intellectually honest, sci-fi content has been dumbed down. And some of the best sci-fi, it's people who are not true sci-fi fans complaining that, oh, it's boring. Because Blade Runner Part 2 was brilliant fluff. It looked great, brilliant visuals, no story.
No substance,
no plot.
Yeah.
It was nothing. And I'm like, what is this? It was a complete waste of my time. You know, Arrival was one of the best movies I've seen in years. Brilliant sci-fi. And that's what good sci-fi is. You have to pay attention to follow the story. Even you know, classic Doctor Who, which was a television show shot on a shoestring budget. Some stories, you know, you really, you know, you had to follow the story. So for some reason, you know, sci-fi has gone mainstream. Same thing with these superhero comic book movies. They've gone mainstream. I'm trying to appeal to too wide stream of an audience. You've totally diluted and watered down the core essence of the vehicle. And that, as a long-term fan, I don't like.
No, I agree. Every single thing that you've said there, I agree. I couldn't really add any more onto that now, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I mean, if they don't change, if they don't change down the path, if they don't change the route, the path that they've taken, they will actually have no fans left. All these franchises. I mean, it's something has to give. Now, apparently, this Joker movie is gonna break the camel's back. Now, if that's the case, if this Joker movie is any good, and if it doesn't have all the PC crap that's been in most movies, then I welcome this movie. We've already got a female reporter out there who's actually only famous off the back of a man. She was the reporter that actually interviewed Liam Neeson when he said that when his friend was obviously raped by a black guy, and he said he wanted to go out and kick the crap out of him. So that's how she became famous. She became famous off the back of a man. So these women talk about like how bad men are, and then she wouldn't have got anywhere only for what she did. But anyway, she has a problem with the Joker movie. She's also a reporter that thinks that me as a foreign national should have a right to vote in the American election. And she also has a problem with Dave Chappelle. Right? Now, this woman is nonsense, right? But she said that if the Joker movie showed male toxicity, then she didn't want any part of it. Well, do you know what I'm going to say to you right now, love? Walk away. We don't want you. Anyway, the movie is named at you. And by the way, if you've actually read what they're going to be doing in the movie, it's got to do with mental illness. And the fact that you've actually linked the two, male toxicity and mental illness, together is quite worrying. You call yourself a reporter, right? You're an uneducated woman, because if you think that foreign citizens have a right to vote, or should have the right to vote in American elections, then you're clearly clueless. You're clearly clueless, and you don't know how your country is run. Thirdly, Dave Chappelle has obviously proved to all you woke journalists and woke critics that the public love his work. So you might, in your article, you said that he had lost it, that he was finished. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Journalism has changed. Journalism now is all about shock value.
Of course it is.
It is no longer about journalistic integrity.
Yeah,
it is no longer about reporting the facts, reporting the news, letting people judge. Being a good writer and crafting a story using literary content. No, it's all about shock value. What generates the most hits, the most views, what's trending, what's gone viral. Those are the things that matter. So I don't listen to anything that journalists or critics say. See, I stopped listening to critics a long time ago, because I understood that, movie critics in America only like love stories and foreign films.
Yeah.
Everything else to them is crap. I don't know how it is on your side of the pond, but that's what it's like over here. So I don't listen to critics per se. And journalists, it doesn't matter. They're only about shock value. So everything that a journalist says, I either take it with a grain of salt or I dismiss it out of hand, because it's almost always a hack piece, or it's a hit piece, or it's something to polarize people. Because anything that has a polarizing effect gets talked about. So it's almost as if journalists have played into that age-old hidden Hollywood maxim: there is no such thing as bad publicity. As long as they're talking about you, you are relevant. Better to be hated than to be forgotten. So I don't listen to anything that most journalists say.
Garbage says, following on from the Great Ace trailer from yesterday, a few people have said that she's going to appear in this year's series. Have you heard anything about that? Oh, Jesus.
I love Ace.
Right.
I really like Ace.
Don't get me wrong. I love Ace. She did a trailer for season 26. Okay, people are going to think that she's coming back to the show. I have speculated that, they use the same cameras for Series 11, definitely, to film that little trailer that they filmed. Does that necessarily mean that she's going to come back? Look, obviously she did the trailer. There's a lot of excited reaction, and, people are speculating. I haven't heard anything. Would I like her in the show personally? No, don't want her part of this era. Definitely not. To come back at some stage, yes, but not under this era. I will find out.
How does using digital cameras meaning that she's coming back? Everybody uses digital cameras now. That doesn't mean that.
True. I was just speculating.
I don't understand where people, not you. I don't understand where people make that leap.
Yeah. Garbage, I really don't know, and I love that name, by the way. And welcome to the live chat, by the way. We do be on from 10 to 1, so you've caught the last half hour anyway. But we're on there every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then sometimes then I just go live whenever I feel like it, because I actually enjoy doing this. I've actually cheered up quite a bit since earlier on, so I'm sorry if I depressed a lot of people tonight. Wasn't my intention. But listen, going back to the Ace, look, there's always going to be rumors. It was the same when Billy Piper put up a comment. Everybody thought that she was going to be coming back. What I'll do is, like I always do, seems that you have made me aware of this, I will go and I will go and talk to the source. But I was talking to the source today, and they never mentioned that. And so, you again just take it with a grain of salt. It's the same that people were saying that the Master apparently is supposed to be coming back as well. Then there was rumors, then it will be, but it won't be John Sims' Master because some people were saying it was, and then everybody was saying it was a different actor, and then it turned out it was something for Big Finish. Yeah, and then it turned out it was something for Big Finish. So again, it's all speculation. I think it's because of the fact that obviously that she did drop the trailer, and there was a see that though, the fact that you're even actually asking that, right, and the fact that you've said to me that fans out there are talking about it proves to me that there actually is a will for this. I'm being honest, I actually think there's a will for an Ace spin-off. And I know there's some fans out there that'll disagree with me. No, leave it be, leave it be. But why the hell not? Why not? We had a Sarah Jane spin-off, and I can understand that because Sarah Jane was a very popular companion, the companion,
The
the
most,
yes,
yeah,
right,
loves Sarah Jane
right.
Smith.
So I get that, but a lot of people love Ace too. A lot of
Absolutely, I
people,
love
and a lot of
Ace.
people felt that she got hard done. Same with Sylvester McCoy; they got hard done by. So why not give her another? Jesus Christ, BBC! If anybody is watching this, man, Ace spin off. Come on, make it happen. Give the fans something that they can actually get behind, right? Because I'm being honest with you, and I'm just going to be truthful. Not everybody's behind this era of Doctor Who. So at least, come on, do something decent for a change, will you? Or if
Yeah, but
not, just do the
no,
decent thing and just come out and tell us what we all know that's going to happen anyway. And so we can
yeah,
move on.
but no. Here's the thing. The BBC, like every other media outlet, at least here on this side of the pond, they are catering to new fans and younger fans. So these new and younger fans are all about inclusivity, diversity. I mean, I'm sorry, inclusion, diversity, and inclusion, which is
Yes.
a diversion. But the point, my point here is that they don't care about what us long-term
Of
fans
course
want.
they don't.
They only care about what these new younger
Exactly.
fans that
Exactly.
they cater and pander to want.
Exactly.
So these younger fans and new fans, they want this slop, and they want this diversion and diversity and inclusion. So that's what the BBC keeps giving them. So for them, in their minds, they see it as a win-win. And I don't think, honestly, maybe I'm wrong, but I honestly don't think that they can wrap their heads around how they're giving what a vocal set of fans want, but yet the numbers are so bad. And how you have fans like you and I, who are listening now, how we keep saying we don't want it. So I think that they're trying to tell themselves that we represent a small minority. But as the old saying goes, the numbers don't lie, and the devil is in the details.
Michael Richardson says, who are you talking to? He knows some good things. It's Paul. He was in the live chat earlier on. Let me see. Where else have we got? Would the Ace spin-off be for children or mature audience?
That's a good question.
That is actually a good question. I have seen some people say a mature spin-off. I'd actually have to say, why not cater for everybody? But I'd cater more for the PC crowd and the NPC crowd. I don't really care. Just get them out of Doctor Who. That's just all I want. So an Ace spin-off, a Jenny spin-off, I don't care who it is. But in fairness, though, if they were going to bring back Ace and it was going to be a spin-off, personally speaking, myself, I would rather, personally speaking, I'd rather adult, but I don't think they'd go down that route. I think they'd go down the kind of Sarah Jane Adventures route with the show, which is fine, but I wouldn't watch it then, to be quite honest with you, because it's not obviously aimed at me. But Doctor Who was supposed to be aimed at me and the younger generation, but it's not. Someone else said, Garbage says, I agree. I don't want her in this series. Would love her to be in her own series like Sarah Jane. And Michael Richardson says again, any spin-off would be better than Class. Bull says, after a while, aren't we in an echo chamber? Really, how many times do we have to reinstate the same thing? I do agree, but see, here's the problem, Bull. Nobody is listening, and you have to keep screaming until someone listens. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, as you've seen and listened to when you've been here, everybody is not happy with this era, and there's only a small minority of fans that are happy with this era, and the thing about it is, it's that small minority that seems to be getting the biggest representation and the biggest voice, and people like us are being pushed to the side. Um, I mean, something has to give. Do you know what I mean? And it actually has, because if you look at the ratings, they've actually dived, nose dived. So again, it's Rocket Runner says, I sent you t-shirt designs. I will check them out, mate. Also, thanks to Kerry, who's not here tonight actually, but sent me a video of Ted that I have to show Cheryl. A little disco. We'll put it. I'll send it to Cheryl obviously when I get it sent to me on Messenger, and she'll put it up on the Ted's YouTube channel. By the way, Ted does have his own YouTube channel. If everybody wants to subscribe, what's it called again? Irish Terrier what?
Anyway, Teddy's Terrier Tales.
Teddy's Terrier Tales. So if I don't even know the name of the bleeding. Right, so if anybody is interested, go and give it a sub there and support our little Teddy, and he's at being on this stream most of the night anyway. Right, Paul, listen, I've got 15 minutes to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out, because I've neglected the comments all night. So what I'm going to do is for the next 15 minutes, I'm just going to read out the rest of the comments. But if you want to come on Wednesday, no, today is Wednesday. If you want to come on Friday, more than welcome. Actually, as you know yourself, the Friday stream is normally not about Doctor Who. So maybe we'll have you on again and we will talk about those things that you didn't want to bring up in this stream, and we can bring them up on Friday. I have no problem. I have other people to come on as well to talk about similar stuff as well, actually. So why not? Because Friday stream is not Doctor Who anyway. So so we can talk about almost anything. I'll be talking about anyway. I'll be obviously focusing on because I'll be watching a few trailers over the next couple of days, and I'll have something to say anyway. So, Paul, I will talk to you soon, mate. Thanks for coming on. As usual, you've made some great points, man. I love having you on. So, anytime you want to come on, you are more than welcome.
It's been good. It's been my pleasure, and we will talk soon.
No problem. Take care, Paul. Good luck.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. God bless. And that was Paul, everybody. I'm sorry that kind of ran over a bit, but that's what happens when you actually have someone that's and someone actually mentioned in the comments as well. How come something about intelligence? People are not as intelligent today, and I would actually agree with that statement, because things have been dumbed down, and this generation is actually a social media generation. So they've actually got zero or absolutely no social skills whatsoever. And this is why everything that goes on is because they just don't know how to handle themselves in social situations. So another great call by Paul. Listen, I know I was supposed to get loads of more people on, but this kind of happens sometimes, and I don't mind, you know what I mean. But for the other people, I think there was only one more person to come on anyway. I think it was Daniel. So Daniel, what I'll do is I'll put you top of the list, and Neil will be coming on at some stage as well. Obviously, as you know yourselves, all the kids are back in school. So what I might do is, and it's just a suggestion, so do you know the way I go live at 10 every week? I was thinking maybe if I push it back an hour to say 9 o'clock in the evening, 9 to 12, would that suit? See, I'm trying to suit everybody. I'm trying to suit me audience from obviously America, the UK. We got people from New Zealand, and I've got people from all over. So I'm trying to accommodate everybody. Gary is saying good night, God bless, and talk to you later. Listen, had a great chat. Thank you for coming on, and Paul for coming on. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Do you know what? You have cheered me up quite a lot tonight, guys. I really appreciate it a lot. Um, and you know what? Actually, this stream has been quite relaxing. No incidents. So I'm gonna read a few of your comments there. Let me see. So we will start from here. Michael Richardson says, "Go woke, go broke, words to live by." He also says 2019 has been unbelievably woke in the media. And Unknown 289 says, yes, especially on the missing story animations, Blu-ray box sets and Big Finish, the new logo is just awful. Oh, yeah, someone asked did they like the new logo on all the classic Who stuff. Me personally, no. But again, apparently it's for, because it's cheaper to do it that way. So are you being served? Thoughts, says Michael Richardson. When did the PC culture start, says Daniel. Daniel, we will discuss that on Friday stream. I actually think we should leave that for Friday stream because that is a good question. And that's why I've decided that I'm going to actually do it. So we will bring you on first and we will discuss that, and then we'll bring on the rest of the guests as well. So we will address that on Friday. Just watch YouTube videos about the new shows coming to 1980, 81, 82. There were always shows including and starring women and minorities. Always, we were awakened in the 70s and 80s, etc. Says Bull. Um, where are we now? We are Uh-oh. What is me comments going on? Weird. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I said, yeah, Daniel said good night. Good night, Daniel. It started in 2016, says Michael Richardson. Unknown 289, Teddy, it's Teddy. Hey, hey, he's our dog. It's Teddy. And of course, Rocket Runner, I have an amazing pussy, obviously, because he's a raccoon. The Sunmakers is one of my favorites, says High Desert 004. High Desert 004 says, you Silurians. Is that supposed to be Silurians? I think it is. If I'm right, let me know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Sorry about that. Michael Richardson says, Jodie preachers. That's why I can't stand her. Yeah, she does preach a lot. 2/3 to type. I actually said it wrong as well. I'm actually getting to that stage. Writers writing propaganda, not stories, says High Desert 004. And good point, says Daniel. Why should we? Who should be doing interesting sci-fi, says High Desert 004. I agree. Unknown 289 says, since your YouTube name is already being used by someone else, you could change it to Father Ted Zone. No, the Tardis Zone is staying the way it is. I'm not changing the name of the channel. Apparently they're gone anyway. So I didn't even know they existed. But if that does come to it, they will clearly see that I came up with this name myself because it doesn't matter anyway. I'm not changing the name. They can try and make me change the name, but they're not going to. And I don't think there is a problem because, as someone rightly pointed out, they did T-shirts a couple of years ago and they're gone. Michael Richardson says, I swear people are less intelligent these days based on that. Yeah, they are. And Bull says they're clueless. Or maybe I'm clueless. I'm only messing. Bull says journalism was forever changed during the Reagan administration. Garbage says, following on from that great Ace trailer from yesterday, a few people have said it. Oh yeah, I've read that one. Okay, so I'm caught up now. Let me see. An Ace mature audience, someone says. Some people say bit Ted. Torchwood was a bit of hit, was hit or miss. I'm just saying, says Michael Richardson, and he says Ted is cute. I'll sub to it later. Tired at the moment. Thank you very much, Michael. Your support for Teddy is really appreciated. Good night and God bless to you all, says Gary. Oh, I've read that as well. So I'm nearly caught up now, I think. I personally can only watch live from 12:30 a.m. so I can't participate if you start at 9, but I will always watch the stream later the next day. Okay. Um, no, it's just a suggestion. I'm not saying I'm going to change it anyway. Yeah, it won't be changed for a good while if I do make any changes. But for right now, it's going to stay the same as it because everybody seems to be actually able to um, make it. Paul says, I like Torchwood. It was different from Doctor Who, and that's a good thing. Is Rocket Runner leave? Oh no, Rocket Runner is saying good night to Gar. Torchwood on its own was a good show, separated from Doctor Who. I must be in the minority because I don't care for Ace, says Rocket Runner. We may take more hay if we lose the politics and dog whistles and focus on good storytelling. That's all we want, but I mean, when it breaks down to it all, no matter what we moan about, right, there's one thing that always seems to come true, right? Doesn't matter whether we complain about Jodie Whittaker or Chris Chibnall, right? The one thing that actually does come out of all that is that fans say all they want is good written stories. It always comes back to the writing, right? So they might argue about all these different things, but right down to the heart of it all, it does come down to the writing. Look at, I know Jodie Whittaker is not responsible for this era completely failing. Is she part of it? Yes. Do I think she should have been cast? No. Do I think she's after being put in a bad position? Yes, I do. I do. I think she's being left out the. I think she's being left out to hung and dry by Chris Chibnall. I think he done her a disservice. um, I think he done her a disservice for casting her in the first place because she's clearly out of her league. Um, the only problem that I have with Whittaker is the fact that she is a bad actress and she had a pop at the fans. You don't have a pop at your fan base. But most of the blame for this era goes down to Chris Chibnall and his staff of writers. All right. So I mean, I don't think, and I've said this several times on this channel, which is weird because people say I hate Jodie Whittaker, right? I've said it. We shouldn't be really focusing on Jodie Whittaker anyway. Um, there's plenty of other things to be focused on, like the writing and like Chris Chibnall's ability to be showrunner. We need to question those things. We already know, for fans that are like-minded like me, we already know that Jodie Whittaker is out of her league, right? We already know that she's been given bad scripts and that she should have done the research and she should have done that. But there's no point to keep attacking her because at the end of the day, the main culprit, as I said, is Chris Chibnall and obviously his employers. So if we're not happy with this era, I should say, well then we should be focusing all our attention on the guy that produced it and not Whittaker. Yes, she is partly to blame because her acting is not up to scratch, but who put her in that position in the first place? Chris Chibnall. So I mean, I think there does need to be a different focus, because I've said all I've needed to say about Jodie Whittaker. I mean, I keep repeating myself, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it is true everything I've said. Well, what I believe is true because that's what I see when I look at this era. Look, I've tried to watch Series 11 a couple of times, and I haven't been able to get past the first episode. So Paul says, if you don't like politics, that's your issue. Stop pushing your views on others. Full circle. Exactly. That's a brilliant point to make for sure. We all say that every single stream. Good writing, good producer, and good casting and directing. That's it. That's all we want. That is all we want. And I mean, look, we know there's politics in Doctor Who. Nobody's even denying that either. Again, it's just the way it's handled. I mean, but you try say that to these people, and there's no talking to them anyway. So I mean, as I said, you're talking to that, you know. Whitaker was never born to be the doctor. She doesn't have the look that every other doctor gives. Um, no one should. No, she should know have she should not have been cast, but also she shouldn't have to take the role. But in fairness, right, I know this argument came around before, and I basically said, and I'm going to stand by what I said, right. So you're Jodie Whittaker, right, and someone literally hands you one of the big would have been at the time biggest sci-fi show out there, right? One of the biggest anyway, right? And someone says, we want to give you that part, right? She's gonna take it because it'll be the biggest step up in her career, right? She wasn't the main lead in Broadchurch, right? She was part of an ensemble cast. Now, I haven't seen her in a hospital drama, but I don't know if she was the main lead in that, so I can't comment on that. But every other thing that I've seen her in, she wasn't the main lead in. And even the Black Mirror story, she was part of an ensemble cast. So I mean, this is truly, if I'm correct in saying, this is truly her first major role where she is front and center, and she's just front and center, and she just doesn't have the screen presence, and that's all it is for me. She doesn't have the screen presence. She didn't give the role the due respect that it deserved in doing the research for her before she actually took the role, so you can actually educate yourself and actually know what works and doesn't work. But she wasn't willing to do any of that, and I do understand people uh, have um, do not really respect her for that, and that's fair enough. I mean, look at if I was given the role of the doctor, I would want to use the source material. That's there. Do you know what I mean? All those, and I'd be getting advice off other actors and stuff. Um, but again, what can you do? Right, listen, I'm gonna leave it at that. So Friday, remember, guys, it's a more relaxed live. Well, this one was relaxed tonight as well, but we'll have tomorrow. Friday's stream is basically just we can talk about all generic topics. So there's a certain movie that you're looking forward to, a certain TV show that you're looking forward to, or there's a TV show or a movie that you want to suggest to people. Also type of music you're into, bands, stuff like that. It'll just be a whole generic show, right? What favorite movies of the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, or the noughties as they call it, you know. Jodie Paul says Jodie Whittaker is a generic actor. And Miss Larry and Son look good. Bull says because most here are not as ideological as others. I find many here open minded. We are open minded here. I actually think I am an open minded person, whereas people would accuse me of being closed minded and not. Look, I gave the series a go. I watched the whole lot. I even watched Resolution. What more do you want from me? Seriously, what more do you people want from me? Like, do you know what I mean? We gave it a go. If she still has to try convince me that she's the doctor after a series, then it hasn't worked, mate. Hasn't worked. So, Chibnall, do us a favour, right? Do us a favour. We know you're gone, but just look, confirm it now. We know you're gone, mate. Just do us all a favour. Go on. Go on. Go on. Make my day. Make my day. Sonic the Hedgehog movie is going to be the best movie next year. I really hope that Sonic the Hedgehog movie is good. I really do. The fact that they actually listened to fans' criticism and actually said they were going to redesign Sonic because fans weren't happy. That goes to show me, even if the movie turns out to be a pile of crap, there's one thing I'll give them, right? They listened to the fans. And if you listen to the fans, right, you're already there. You're already halfway there, right? Even if the movie is shit, people will still go to watch it. For the simple fact is, when fans complained about Sonic the Hedgehog, right, their design, people lost their shit, and the people that were making it came out and says, "Okay, we hear your concerns. Don't worry, we're going to redesign, and we hope to give you the movie that you will be proud of." Now, even if the movie turns out to be, as I said, a steaming pile of horse manure, right? At the end of the day, they have tried and they have listened to fans. So, you know, let's give the movie a chance anyway. It could be a pile of crap. I'm not really, I'm being honest with you. Jim Carrey is in the movie, and over the years, especially the last couple of years, he started to irritate me. So I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a go because you know, I prefer Super Mario myself, to be honest. Not the movie, but I prefer the game Super Mario. I wasn't really a Sonic the Hedgehog gamer until I got older. I would love them to make a decent Mario Brothers movie. We do have the Bob Hoskins movie. See, things like that we'll talk about. Actually, that's what I want to talk about actually on Friday, right? Let's do, those cult movies like, Flash Gordon, as I said, Popeye, um, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Obviously, you had the Street Fighter. Was it Street Fighter movie, or was it the Mortal Kombat movie? Or was it both? You had the He-Man movie, Masters of the Universe. Like, we could talk about movies like that. Just underrated movies that have become cult classics. Um. So yeah, look, and listen, folks, you have been great tonight. Um, and I really truly mean that because I haven't obviously tonight I haven't been myself, but um what you call it, you've all been so kind, which is our words tonight, and I really appreciate it all. So I hope you can all join me on Friday. You never know with me, something might happen tomorrow, or I might just decide to come on for the laugh for an hour or so. You never know, but don't forget the regular live cast is on Friday, and I've already told you what the subject is. So if some of you want to go away and write down a list of movies that you liked and disliked, and some of the cult classics that are out there, let me know if you like them. The likes of the Super Mario movie and stuff like that. We will talk about all those on Friday. Listen, thank you for joining me. I totally lost. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to give the video the usual likes. And if you've liked what I said, please do. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, uh, please do, and I'll really appreciate it. Also, for those people that have already subscribed, again, I'm still getting messages off people telling me that they didn't get notifications for certain videos. And some people have even came to tell me that they've been unsubbed. Just make sure that you are still subbed and notified and all that, because YouTube, for some weird reason, seems to be acting the maggot when it comes to, and sometimes as well, by the way, people will leave comments in my videos and I won't get them till the next day. So if I put a video up and you see me liking someone else comment, but I haven't liked your comment, because someone did say it to me, and I get it, but like, I'm not ignoring this. Trust me, some of the comments go into the spam, and I have to bleed and take them out of the spam, even though I didn't, nothing to do with me. Like, you know what I mean? It's getting ridiculous now at this stage. So, yeah. So obviously, I'll talk to you all on Friday. Me, probably be on tomorrow. But Friday is the main one, right? So I'll talk to you then. So you have a couple of days to get your lists together. Use our favorite cult movies, favorite songs that not many people know, stuff like that. Right. Good night. God bless, and I shall talk to you very, very soon.